Oh, yeah. What do we call it down there? Frames. We have frames.
All right. Happy Sunday night. Is anybody here?
Well, Mike N was here a while ago. Don't know if he's still here.
I don't know if I'm going to give him a point unless he's actually here when the stream starts. If he says anything in the next couple minutes, I'll award him a point for being first, but otherwise I'm not going to do it. Because that just popping in 2 hours early.
First responder.
Mike, you get points because you were here. You made the first comment.
But he didn't come in here until 10:01, and first responder's here.
Well, first responder gets points for making the first still here. Mike, you get a point for that. And first responder gets a point for being the first comment at the beginning of the stream. So you guys did great.
Yep. Oh, man.
You got the points. Buddy Carafano, I give you a point too.
Close enough, huh? Close enough to get a point.
I mean, you're in it.
They're all here.
You're in the race. You're in the race. And I like that. I like to see that you guys are...
Dave the Rave.
If you're not first, you're last, Dave the Rave.
Well, in a drag race, that's pretty much true.
KJ Kiley is here as well. Welcome to the stream. Gerald B is here. Wow, thanks everybody for showing up right when we start. This is
really cool. Everybody just popped right in.
I don't know who else is streaming at this time, but I know there probably are other people out there streaming. So thanks for stopping in at the beginning to give us some support.
Kim,
what's up?
Where'd you put the heater?
Oh, I will bring you the heater. I had to use the electrical cord for the heater.
Okay.
So I'll have to re-drag that around.
Because I'm sitting here thinking, it's a little cool. And then I'm thinking,
well,
it's cold.
That's why I told you to sit in the truck.
I did.
The smoke. Okay, so we'll get this out of the way before I even do my normal introduction. And you get a point. And you get a point. That's right. Bees. Bees. Okay, some people will know that it's a meme. Okay. So, I came out an hour or so early to work on an intake manifold. I want to modify it. And I also want to paint it. So I did that. But I needed to use a grinder and a flapper disc to clean it up. And that makes, it's a big piece of cast iron, and it throws off a lot of dust and debris.
I come out an hour later. We got a couple of big doors, and we got a man door. The man door's open. It's all light in here, and I can't even see across because all the dust inside the shop. And it's like, oh,
I did wear a mask to kind of filter some of the gook, but
I could see her in there, faintly see her in there with a mask and running some machine.
I'm going to have iron-colored drainage for a little while here.
We use a light duty extension cord, then we get heat off the cord, right?
Yeah, and then the cord, we can wrap the cord around you and it'll get warm.
It'll melt.
Yeah, so I will show you that manifold in a minute here. I got my hands a little bit clean so we could start the stream. But we've got the fan blowing the dust around, and it's cold. It's like almost 60 degrees in here now.
When I was sitting in the Jeep out there, the little thermometer in that said 54, which isn't bad. But I mean, if I'm sitting still in here, it's 54 is a little cool for indoors.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know.
And we haven't lit up the fire yet because it's not so cold, and that requires coming out an hour or so early. Sometimes we'll come out in the middle of the day, light the fire for our evening show. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, we aren't to that time of the year where we're lighting a fire before we come out.
Yeah, we haven't even done our first light on the fire on the stove, and we've talked about maybe moving the studio so that we're closer to the stove. But I haven't figured out how we will do that. That isn't blocking the main garage door.
Well,
I haven't figured out how to do that.
This is what we need to do: get the dart finished.
Oh yeah.
Then once we push the dart out, or we won't push the dart out. We'll drive the dart out. It'll have we'll have a lot more room in here, and we'll have to reorganize a little. And the little car comes in next, and when the little car comes in, we'll have more room around it. Yeah, this is the key to the.
Mike, I'm going to award you a point for being just really observant, and that's really cool. And he's going to tell you the story about where it came from now.
I worked in Maryland for a while because the company I worked for, their home office is right outside Pax River Naval Air Station, at Tuxant River Naval Air Station. And so I live right there, and I needed a lanyard for that's where I bought the Jeep. And I bought this so I could keep track of the Jeep key. And I drove the Jeep up here from the house tonight because I took it, and it's a short walk. I just drove it up here because I had a couple of cases of water in the back, and it's easier to drive up here with the water. And so then I put the key around my neck, and then you saw it, and then here we are.
All right, so now that we've got that stuff out of the way of where we're at and what's going on, I'm going to do our regular introduction, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I'm already.
All right, so hello and welcome to the Sunday night shop stream. I am Kim of Kim Fixes Things. You can find my YouTube channel, Kim Fixes Things, elsewhere on YouTube. And when I do things by myself for my own projects, I post my content over on my own channel. But when I'm working in the Del Campo shop with your host, Buff Del Campo, we make content for this channel, and we like to do very regular, several times a week live streams here in the shop. On Tuesday nights, we do a special live stream. We start a lot earlier at 7 p.m. Central Time here in the United States. And we have in that studio, we have a green screen. We have much better sound quality where we don't have the weird delay between we're talking, although we're working on that here in the shop. But, we have better quality broadcast on Tuesday nights. So we encourage you to please stop in on Tuesday nights if you can do that. And we will show you visually interesting things. You can send pictures to buffdelcampo@gmail.com, and we will discuss the pictures if you'd like to do that. And Dave Breaks Things sounds like an excellent name for a channel. So this is a community stream. So Dave, if you actually did start a channel called Dave Breaks Things, you're allowed to tell us. There's a lot of people, it's like a major faux pas, don't try and advertise in our stream. We welcome it here because this is for community. If you were not part of our friend group, of our community, even if you haven't met us in person, but I mean, if you didn't like us, you wouldn't be here. And so if we're friends, we want you to be successful at your endeavors. So if what you're doing is trying to create YouTube content and you want us to put up a link, we will try and put up a link. When we're in the shop, that's harder to do. If we have a moderator, the moderators are pretty good at that.
I'm gonna break in here for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Dave the Rave.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're part of this No Name Nationals group. No Name Nationals is a drag race every year in Missouri, and it's for content creators, YouTube content creators, and you have to have 500 subscriptions to race there. Anybody can go there, but 500 to race.
Participate.
And
yeah.
it's a fun event, and it's been going for 3 years now. The next one will be year 4. And there's one of our mods in here, John Wilburn. He's the one that has really puts all the effort into putting that race on.
And Dallas Brown of the American Hot Rod Association.
Dallas Brown
sanctioned that race.
Dallas Brown is the head of the AHRA, the American Hot Rod Association. And anyway, if you want to start a Dave Breaks Things or something,
I mean,
yeah,
Dave,
we'll help.
That actually sounds like a fantastic idea. I encourage you to break stuff.
I think it's a pretty good name for a channel. Mm-hmm. And if you break things once in a while because you're building things, that's really normal.
Yeah.
Okay? So anyway,
people like breaking stuff. So
between us and John Wilburn's channel, because he does a live every Friday night, we'll work on it and help you get 500 subs, and you could show up to the drag race every year.
Yeah, and not everybody's within striking distance of Missouri.
Dallas Brown has 2 channels. There's Mr. Rodder's Neighborhood, but he also has the AHRA channel. So they do that on Wednesday nights at 7 Central, and that's a real techie kind of live that they do. Really good stuff. It's Dallas Brown and Shane Polito, who's what's the name he goes by?
Professor P.
Professor P. And Shane is Professor P. He's an engineer at Edelbrock, and then Dallas, of course, he's been racing forever, and he's retired Navy. I don't know what he did in the Navy. Enlisted,
Lots of cool people.
And he's a HRA guy. So you get into this group, and man, we'll help you get your 500 subs and get you so you can
or encourage you to make content.
And you can, and maybe you can participate. If you don't participate, just show up to. I don't know where are you? I don't know where you are.
Yeah, you don't have to participate in the race. And that is not the obviously No Name Nationals is not our only goal in the world, because actually when we go, we don't really do a lot of racing.
No, you know what?
We just enjoy the people.
See, I met Kim at the first annual No Name Nationals, and she raced her. They have a monkey bike class, these little mini bikes. So she raced her. She raced her mini bike. Well, no, you let somebody else race your mini bike.
I did.
It was
no. Wasn't it the first year I raced it, and then the second year I had Two Hacks race it?
No, it was the first year.
Really?
Yep. Because that's when I met Two Hacks. Was
that Dallas day. Has that thing again? Darn.
What's that?
Yikes. South Texas. That's a little ways. You could come.
Oh, that's right. I remember where you are. Okay,
maybe you can help us find a Fox Body Fairmont there in South Texas.
That's not
Dave. That would be great.
That's not that far.
It's a ways. Not everybody can do long travel. We understand.
There are people that come from the West Coast. There are people that come from Canada. But there's a lot of people, of course, the East Coast and around the southern part of the Midwest.
I don't want to miss Mike's comment from earlier.
I'm sorry.
He says he grew up in Louisiana, and in the 4th grade, they all pulled names out of the hat to draw the state flags, and he drew Maryland. And that is why he recognized your lanyard. That's awesome.
He said it was hard to draw.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Imagine having to draw that when you're in 4th grade.
Yeah.
You know what? One thing I liked about the Maryland flag is it's colorful, and a lot of the state flags are blue with some kind of a logo, and a lot of them kind of look the same. And Maryland's is real colorful and real noticeable. I had a similar thing happen, and it was 4th grade. It was 5th grade. And I got South Dakota. And what's really crazy is a year later, I was in California when we moved to South Dakota, so I knew everything about South Dakota when I got there. But that's a fun thing about being in grade school.
Dave the Rave says he has a large inventory of older... Do you have a large inventory, or does Texas have a large inventory? I'll bet that's why you ended up finding our channel, is because we're always working on old cars. And to get on or get over with the introduction, currently we are in the shop, and we are working on this here 225 Slant 6. And it is from my 1966 Dodge Dart. I will show you, and then...
Oh, I don't know if we have cables here. I'll help you string this. So
this is our...
there you go.
This is a 1966 Dodge Dart. It is a crew cab version, but it is still a lot of fun.
Crew cab. I never thought about it being a crew cab.
Somebody calls them that, and I thought that's a pretty good way of putting it.
Yeah, it's better saying it's a
four-door. Sounds like wah-wah, but crew cab sounds like a really nice truck. So I don't know. It has more connotations. Nice paint. Thank you. It is Chrysler Hemi Orange, and I think it'll look really nice in the gold car. The blue, I don't... and the red looked okay, but I think the orange has a nice pop. Plus, I had orange in the cabinet. And paint doesn't last forever, so I thought I'd use it.
I bought all that Hemi Orange for something. What did I buy it for?
Maybe for your poly engine?
I don't know.
Don't worry, we'll buy more, but it doesn't last forever sitting in a cabinet.
I bought it to do the valve cover on my Slant. Okay, so, and let's see here. Nice paint job. Texas itself. It's just a chore getting the old timers to sell them. You know where I found... I used to back and forth across Texas, like, all the time. Never stop. Going from Arizona to Tennessee to Arizona to Tennessee, that whole routine. So, going across I-20... this is west of Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's a place called Abilene, and right along that stretch of road by Abilene, there are so many old cars for sale along the highway. It's just one of those places where I drive like this, and I want to get off the road and look at the cars, but of course I'm in a hurry always. So, but anyway, yeah, I've noticed that about Texas. Lots and lots of cars. Dean Stevenson's here.
Dean Stevenson says, Jamie needed alone time, so I'm here. I think it was the Admiral Plankton versus Eugene Von Krabs joke. I thought it was funny. I know you're talking about the SpongeBob show, and by Jamie, I'm wondering if you mean Dead Dodge Garage. Did they ban you from give you a timeout from Dead Dodge Garage, Dean Stevenson? Welcome to the stream. We rarely have to give you a timeout. We appreciate your humor.
What? She prepped it on. You probably missed that night. What did you do?
We did do that during a live.
Yeah, she scrubbed it.
I ended up taking more parts than I wanted to, but
all kinds of I don't know what she did.
So
but it was
I used masking tape on the machine surfaces and used a razor around them so I don't get paint in the machine surfaces. And then what did I do?
I remember you using
wash it with a scrub brush
and some
acetone,
and then alcohol, and then
we ran the torch over the whole thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we tortured it to
Uncle
warm it up.
Tony's Garage says if you use a torch on the cast iron that it removes impurities and makes the paint stick better. I don't know, but it's been curing on there for a couple days and it seems pretty good. The thing about a Slant 6 is you don't see the block very much. Basically, once it's in the engine, you can kind of see the top of the timing cover a little bit. You can kind of see the back of the water pump housing and some of the front of the block and a little bit of this oil pump flange down below the manifold. But mostly you're going to see the manifold, air cleaner, and,
we need to cover this.
The valve cover.
We need to cover this problem again. Blue Grit. Is it just me or is the audio not synchronized? The audio is not synchronized. This is what happened. We got this old computer in here that we're going to replace hopefully this week. And it just, Kim can explain it better than me. It just doesn't keep up. And she's adjusted that and gets it all synchronized. And it doesn't keep it up. It's not enough computer for the software we're running. So
it's outdated hardware and it can't run the streaming software good enough. And we like being able to run multiple monitors and multiple cameras and a special mic. And if we did it in a simpler way, we could get it so I could bring my laptop computer out here and we could just run it like this.
The problem with the laptop, we don't have enough.
We don't have enough USB
There's
plugs.
not enough USBs, and when you use one of those things
and then
that has
stuff starts to glitch out.
multiple USBs that plug into one USB, it doesn't work very well. Then you end up with the same problem.
Please forgive us. Don't unsubscribe. We're going to fix it. We've had some really generous donors who have sent us some super chats, and we get a tiny, are we bringing in $1 a day yet?
No.
From Shorts?
No, but some days. Yeah, I saw that. A special mic. I thought of that right when he says it.
We have a special mic.
So, what was I going to say about that? I don't know. I just got to get distracted with special mic.
We've had some really, really generous donations.
Oh, yeah. So yeah.
Small but mighty, it adds up over time, and we should be able to use that to make things better. And one of the better things is this computer. We are out here so much. We're here 3 nights a week for 3 hours at a time. It has to work properly.
I told Kim we're going to do it this week.
Yeah, and we can't keep dragging the computer that's down in the studio back and forth. It's too much wires and connections and stuff. So
who else here? We're let's see. I'm missing stuff here. Mike Kent says the longest, loneliest stretch of I-20 is that stretch from Shreveport to Dallas. It's beautiful at night in a T-top Camaro. You can see band of stars across the sky. That's Milky Way. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool looking.
That does sound really neat, Mike.
An I-20 going out west of Dallas-Fort Worth area, man, there's some long stretches out there until you get to what the place I call the I-10-20 split, where I-20 dead ends into I-10, and then I'd head west on I-10. And there's some long stretches out there too. Oh, same thing in Arizona, going across the Arizona desert. In the east, there's like city after city after town after city after just stuff. And when you get out in the west, there's some long stretches. Better make sure you fill the gas tank up. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
running my
Dave the
mouth.
Rave says Kim just filled the old computer with cast iron dust. It probably weighs 50 pounds more tonight. Dave, that's a real concern in the shop. So you have to look after your computer. You have to make sure it is not in the line of fire when you're grinding. Or one time I almost burned up a really expensive welder. I was working in a shop and I was grinding and the sparks were flying and the cooling fan on the welder was sucking the sparks in and it fouled the points in the welder all up and they were mad. The place I was working for was mad. They were like, you shouldn't be, but they should have put up, I don't know. I should have known better, but they also should have been more aware of. Anyways, yeah.
We really have an international show now. Shaquille's
do.
here. Tommy
Shaquille
Hanlon
Shaka, welcome
stopped
to the
it.
stream.
And Dean
Tommy!
Stevenson's here. And
Hey, and Dean.
and probably have somebody from Canada here. And
4
a bunch of people
points
from the U.S.
all across the globe on this flat earth, we have people at all points on the edge of the ice shelf. We have people here.
Yeah, yet people are going to start thinking you believe that nonsense.
I just don't know what to believe.
You don't know what to believe.
I know it's not flat from here to Pittsburgh. I know it goes up and down and up and down and up and down. So.
Should I say something?
And I've been in an airplane. I don't know. It's the higher you go, it looks pretty flat. It's hard to say.
I've been high enough
Only at
that
night.
it starts
to look pretty round.
Yeah.
Well, once you're in space, Mr. Alien.
No, I haven't been in space, but I've been way the hell up there. Okay, anyway. Let's see.
Mike says take the side of the PC case off, hit it with compressed air, and it'll be fine. Actually, there is no side.
There's a big, like a fan that you blow air through a room, and it's horizontal on top that forces air down into it.
Because, unfortunately, this version of the software and that version of motherboard do not align well. They don't play nice. So when we run our streaming software, even though it is a multiple core CPU, it runs it all on a single core. And that core gets really hot and the others don't do much. And there's no way to tell it to stream to do the work properly. So it gets really hot and there's no way to... So no side, that's not fine then? Yeah, it's definitely... The side is completely off and we have a fan up against it. But it's on its last leg, Mike. It's on its way out. And we are going to get a new computer in here and then we're going to... Maybe we'll mount it outside in the cold where it will never overheat. We don't know what we're doing. But
I just shut the ringer off on my phone because I always do that when I get home and I knew I forgot.
But we are live and we're having a good time and you guys are here, which is amazing. Ain't
Right.
no ice shelf in Louisiana, but how far out into the ocean have you gone? Because there's probably an ice shelf keeping you in. You're just complacent to it. You think it's not there because the whole globe Earth conspiracy is warping your mind, dude.
Shopcat Industries.
Shopcat Industries, flat earthers. Man, we have a foreman who think that's why Australia is called down under because it's literally under. They walk among us, folks. They walk. Really? Does he believe that? He's not just trolling.
Well, my favorite one right now is the channel Not a Rubicon. And Not a Rubicon is a guy that he drives a Jeep that's not a Rubicon. But he's into radios and on. That's why I watch it, because I like radios. But he also does interviews occasionally. He interviewed somebody that's a flat earther, and he started off and introduced the guy as known around the globe for being a flat earther.
For his flat Earth society.
Known around the globe. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, so here we go, Kim. Keep
okay.
going. We have more people.
Buddy Carafano says computer needs new floppy disk. That'll fix it. You know, we've looked at floppy disks. Yeah, no, it does have an updated hard drive, but the whole thing needs updated for it to do anything. Man, it takes like 15, 20 minutes for it to boot. And then the first time you try and start the software, it always crashes, and then you have to try and again.
The good thing,
man,
we do have a computer.
Hanging on by a thread.
We have a computer up here and we're able to live stream from the shop. but it's marginal. So at least we have it, and then we have so much better stuff in the house. But
the stuff in the house is even old too. So
yeah, but it works.
I don't know. We might bring the stuff that's in the house up here and update the stuff that's in the house. But whatever we do, it will work better very soon. And we appreciate you being here in spite of the lagginess. Because we're just going to try and have fun and be silly.
Now our international show has somebody from Mexico. Hey, Mexican Spec, how you doing?
All right.
You have quite a lot to do tonight. See, oh yeah, well,
Hi,
yeah,
Mexican Spec.
please be here on Tuesday. Of course, we come in much earlier on Tuesday. Hey, I just was looking at your Instagram like moments ago.
Check out Mexican Spec on Instagram. He posts lots of Mexican Spec cars and trucks.
He put up a Volkswagen.
He facilitates the import into the United States if you'd like to get an old car like that. And he's super cool. He acts as our moderator. And he is well known in our car community by other people who stream. So he's very helpful.
He has a good reputation for coming through with the vehicles and the parts. He sells lenses like for taillights and turn signals and side markers. And I bought things from him before. He always comes through, gives you a tracking number.
I'll bet you Mexican Spec has been busy since the beginning of Tony's stream. I'll bet you he was in Tony's stream and then in Jamie's stream. And he's probably kind of exhausted. That's a lot of work.
Demonic Beast is here. Just noticed my car has so much rust under the floor panel. Driver's seat. Ooh, what kind of car is that? That live was wild on Fun with Cars. Oh, so Mexican Spec's been there. Anyway, I just saw your. I just got a post, I think, sometime today with a Volkswagen Beetle, and so I saw that anyway.
Demonic Beast. Demonic Beast says, I just noticed my car has so much rust under the floor pan.
I just read that. Okay, so...
Yeah, but tell us about it.
What
kind of car?
What kind of car?
And where are you at that it's causing it to rust? Is it salt from the winter, or is it something leaking somewhere that's getting water in there? Oh, it's a 72 Charger with rust. Oh, man.
You know what? It's worth fixing.
The parts are available. I hope it isn't in the frame rails. I just did a repair on the frame rail of this car, and we posted a video about it. Was that on my channel or yours? Did we post the video of the frame? Yeah, we did. We posted the frame rail repair video.
We did.
I hope it is not as extensive as what we had to do on this car.
We did it on the live. We did that repair during a live, and you had the camera down there.
Yeah.
Remember
No, but we put up long form video too.
We could have, yeah.
We did.
I lose track of everything we did. My throat's giving me trouble already.
Tommy Hanlon says it's tea time. Good for you. I need something to drink too.
Time for tea. I have a few Beetles to post. I want to get them out there. You know something else, Mexican Spec? I've noticed that, I always see all your Instagram stuff come through because it's about all I look at in Instagram, so I get all the notices. But I'm noticing a lot more coming through on YouTube, and I'm looking at those too. But
I'm getting cold, and I think we got the dust out, so I'm going to bring the heater around.
We need the heater.
Yeah, I can feel it. And I'm not working either. Standing around is not cutting it.
You just noticed it today. Where are you, Demonic Beast?
Just what a mess.
Yeah, you made a mess over. You got dust and dirt and grindings.
Dirt made a real mess.
Steel grindings everywhere.
I gotta show them what I did. They'll be.
Do you have a second camera tonight?
Vaguely impressed. I have it, but I don't have it set up yet.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Why?
Set
What
up.
do you want to see?
Oh, well, look, because if you're going to go over there and show them, though.
Oh no, I've got it over here. It's not attached to anything.
Demonic Beast, Los Angeles. Okay. Man, I used to live a couple 100 miles north of there. Got out of California in long time ago. Between the military and all the jobs I had chasing work all my life, I went all over the place. I only went back to work in California once, and it was in very, very southern California at El Centro, Naval Air, NAF El Centro, Naval Air Facility, El Centro. Okay, Brawler 1997. What's the best fiberglass insulation for engine? Cause heat coming in. Ooh,
On the floor?
Where's the heat coming in? Is the floor getting hot, or
Well,
what's
the
going
exhaust
on?
would be right under the seat. The best insulation, under floor, under carpet. I mean, you could think about an aluminum heat shield. That gives you an extra. I don't know. A lot of people use that Dynamat, but that's not really heat insulation. That's more sound deadening.
Yeah, Mexican Spec says I do post one video per day, long or short, and I've seen both. I've seen the long form and the short ones. Okay, what you brought? Oh, that's like right here.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, what do you?
Right.
Okay, so now you're bringing over your project rather than taking the camera over there. You're bringing the project over here.
Bringing the project here, so you can see and so they can see.
Yeah, I want to put it in my engine. In your engine? You mean in the engine compartment?
Want to put it in my engine?
Well, he has that 70. I think it's 72 Charger. You remember?
I thought it was a 73.
It could have been a 73, but it's against the firewall. Really? Yeah, usually you don't need to do that, but usually there's some mat that goes between the steel firewall on the floor and the carpet. But yeah, I don't know what you have there.
I don't know. That's a good thing to research.
Why is it getting so hot in there?
That's a kind of finish work that I haven't really done a lot with.
Okay, what do you? Oh, I see what you're grinding.
Okay, so if you're familiar with a Slant 6 at all, lizard skin spray in heat blocker. Buddy Carfano is suggesting that may be investigated. I apologize. I can't. I really can't comment. I don't know. So, the bottom of this manifold is cast with a design. Excuse me. It's cast. It's not high enough. How do I lift this up?
How do you lower the camera down?
I guess we're going to lower the camera. Okay. This manifold is cast with these little lumps, and they were sticking out a lot more, maybe a half-inch more. There was a bunch of them, and they're meant to soak up heat so that the carburetor that's sitting there, it doesn't, so that the fuel not evaporates, it's called something else.
So it so it atomizes.
So the fuel atomizes and doesn't atomization involves energy. It sucks it. Actually, when you disperse things like that, atomization, it draws in energy. So you actually make your manifold really cold, and then you'll get condensate fuel, and then it's hard to get the mixture, and you don't get adequate burn. So the engineers made this heat thing, and then all around here, this mates with the exhaust manifold. It's wide open to the exhaust manifold so that a lot of exhaust heat will come up here. Well, modern fuel evaporates at a lower temperature than the older fuel. And one of the problems people get in the summertime with Slant 6s is boil. Like when you shut the car off, it boils the fuel out of the carburetor, or melts the gaskets, or it's just too hot, too much heat. And if we find that we're not getting enough heat, we will maybe run some kind of thing with.
It's also meant for cold engine drivability, and you can just warm it up and drive it.
It will warm up.
It'll be fine.
I never had a problem with the Slant 6 not warming up, but a lot of people have vaporize. What kind of power are you getting out of these Slant 6s? About 125 horsepower, maybe 150. It's not a lot. I'm not going to brag on it that it's so much more powerful.
They were originally rated at 145 when they were using brake horsepower.
Yeah.
Prior to 1971 and earlier, which is like what you see on a dyno, on an engine dyno.
And then we did a cleanup on the metal so that paint will hopefully stick. I'm going to go over it with a brush and then paint. The bottom is still rusty, but no one sees the bottom. So I'm not worried about it. So that's a special... They are cool looking, right? And this car is not a race car. It's a fun car. It's a show car. It's a cruiser.
You know what? We drove it all the way over to No Name Nationals and back all the way. It's like 3.5 hours,
It
4 hours
goes
for
80
us.
without a struggle.
Just
It
cruise
runs
along.
great.
It's just a nice car to cruise down the road on. And then I guess you could run it down a drag strip, but
It's a time machine. You get in it and you are transported
to 1966.
to 1966. I mean, it really does. It brings about in so many people who are familiar with these older cars. They had an uncle. They owned one when they were in college. There's so many people. When you bring this car out, people they like it. Not everybody. There's a lot of people that look at it. So it's not a performance car. And you can't compare them apples to apples.
She was washing it one day in the car wash, spray car wash, and I was standing there running the camera, getting some video of her washing it, and some guy comes around the corner and looks at it and he goes, "What's that? A Fairlane?" So some people they just recognize it as an old car.
Yeah.
What happens at 88 miles an hour? Oh no.
88 miles an hour is
I know what that is.
Oh, okay. You remember that?
No, I
movie?
just don't know why he's bringing that up. We're
Because
not
I said
in
it was a time machine.
Oh, because of time machine. Okay. He also said in the summertime. Oh, when the weather is hot. When the summertime. I was thinking of another song that starts like that.
Yeah. That is. It's in the summertime when the weather is hot. Home Depot sells radiant barrier to reflect heat. I don't know if that is the best thing to use in an automotive application. It might be okay, but
I don't know why it's so hot that it's bothering him. Oh, you're taking off, Mexican Spec. Okay, well, thanks for stopping by, and hopefully we'll see you Tuesday night. I don't think we'll... Yeah, Mungo Jerry. That's who I was trying to think of, Mungo Jerry.
Yeah.
It's like...
I thought it was 1.61 gigawatts.
So I guess we'll see you Tuesday night, I hope. That's Mexican Spec.
Oh, okay. And Jack says, I love it, and anyone can work on these things. So that's the thing. Not everybody can work on these things.
Where's that?
Right in the middle, in all capital letters.
I see, yeah.
A lot of what we do on the channel, we work on these cars not because there is no end and then we're done. We don't want to finish the car and then be done forever, stop streaming, stop working on cars. So the goal is to...
Heat's coming from the AC vents.
That was what I was thinking, and I can't close them. So yeah, that's that.
So it's picking up the heat from the heater core, probably. The flap in there is probably not sealed, and you're probably getting...
Or you have a broken cable, or a damaged vacuum hose. 73. Because some of them have a vacuum actuated doors to turn. Oh, I don't know what 73 is. I don't want to ill-advise them.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But, when you hit those controls on the dash or you move things on the dash, how do I fix that?
Get into the heating system. See what's going on there.
Start poking around. Something's broken. One of the doors is not closing.
Fill them with foam.
Don't
do that.
You could disconnect.
In the wintertime, you'll want that heat.
Yeah, well, in the summer, because in the wintertime you would want the heat, but in the summer, if you're getting heat that you don't want and you can't quite figure it out yet, I mean, you should figure it out, but there's 2 hoses that go into the firewall that provide heat into the dash heater core system. You could loop them so they don't go into the thing. They just return to the engine without going into the dash. And you could do that for the summer and you won't get any heat.
Well, and that's a good way to troubleshoot it. Take those 2 hoses off and hook them together so you bypass the heater core, and then if there's no heat coming out those vents, you know it's coming from the heater core. Which is what I suspect. God, Mungo Jerry is still alive and kicking. Hey, you know what? What is his name? His name isn't Mungo Jerry. That's the name of the group. I can't think of it. But he's, he's grown his sideburns back again because he looked funny without them. Because he had these huge mutton chops and he's growing them back. That is pretty funny. He's like 10 years older than me. Guy that's Mungo Jerry. Okay, so now we're back to
He asks, are they under the dash or the engine bay? The two big hoses
there.
are in the engine bay, and on a 340, where do the hoses, heater core hoses, come from?
I don't know where they come
From
from,
the water
but there's
pump.
two of them that go into the firewall.
They come from the water pump on the front of the engine, and they're about that big around, black rubber hoses usually.
5/8
And they come up over the side, usually around the side of the engine and into the firewall. If he's got an air conditioning unit, I don't know, but they'll connect with. You'll probably have to drain some antifreeze, or else you'll spill it.
Ray Dorset. I couldn't think of his name. I know we got two different conversations going.
That's okay.
Yeah, Ray Dorset. What a character, man. I see he's like one of my favorite old performers, you know, because that was my time. Oh man.
But Brawler, figuring out the blend door.
They removed it though. It's already been removed.
They removed the air conditioning.
You know.
Well, then they've probably somehow messed up the way that the doors and whatnot work.
Brawler, take your phone, take a picture of the couple pictures around the engine compartment, and email the pictures to me, and I'll put it up here. Buff Del Campo. Oops, where'd my?
He's going to type his buffdelcampo@gmail.com, and we'll talk about it on Tuesday night. Take a picture of your dash so we can see what kind of controls you have. Try and take a picture under the dash where the heater fan is and whatnot. Maybe we can direct you towards some. Does anybody know a good source of exploded view of what the dash would look like of that car?
Email it. So send me the pictures and get a couple under the hood too, like the firewall and everything. And Tuesday night we'll go over it. That'll be fun.
In your car is a 73.
What my
two
the
Valiant.
Valiant is a 72.
It's a 72.
But it's an A body though.
But it's But what I'm saying is it's an aftermarket air conditioning system, and it's a vacuum actuated.
Mine's not aftermarket. Oh, I know why. Because they had an under dash unit on the.
I guess they all had that.
They all had under dash. Yeah.
The controls work by vacuum. So if you're not getting good vacuum to the controls, then they just won't change. When you push the buttons, nothing will happen. So, and you have told us in the past that someone has changed your vacuum lines, so you might not have good vacuum to your heater controls.
The heater control might not be working right.
So
the zombies.
Is there a small vacuum hose that comes through your firewall somewhere over by the heater, and is it connected to anything?
That's a Blue Grit's asking the same question I want to know too. That's why I want to see under the hood. We're going to look at the pictures and see what he sends us. It sucks working on something someone else worked on. Yeah, that's something I'm looking for.
Trying.
I'm looking for an older car right now. I'm looking for probably a Fairmont, but maybe a Mustang, some kind of Fox body. And as soon as I see under the hood something that somebody's messed with it and changed things and disconnected air conditioning and rerouted when they obviously didn't know what they were doing, I just forget it. The car's worthless to me. I want one that's not all molested yet, and I'm finding some of them. But people do that kind of stuff. They reroute vacuum lines and disconnect things when they don't know what they're doing, and then sometimes it's really hard to get it back to where it was.
Dave the Rave says it's probably vacuum. Yeah, I know, my car's a 66 and it's cable. But when we worked on your 73, it was vacuum.
But then the B bodies are...
The B bodies are different.
And it's also different if it had factory air or not. So, It's...
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Where are we at here? Get a Chilton's or Haynes manual well worth the money.
Maybe. They're not expensive.
Wants to molested himself.
Hey, now.
You know,
Careful with words like molest.
if I redo something and it's on my car, I know that I'm devaluing it, or maybe I'm fixing it back the way it was, you know. Yeah, Blue Grid, I don't know. That's why we're going to get all the pictures, and we'll go over it Tuesday. He's going to send pictures to my email, and we'll go over it on Tuesday night on the green screen when we can put all the pictures up behind us and everything.
Yeah, the year doesn't probably matter, because there's like some old, like they used to make vacuum actuated windshield wipers, so you never know what crazy thing they decided to do for that year and model.
Well, and always the air conditioning cars, factory air is always different than the
man, that's tight.
Oh, that's loud.
Sorry. I'm gonna go and put that in the vise and turn the manifold to pull it off there, because it is tight in there.
Why don't you get a 6-point socket?
Oh, that'll work. Yeah.
And a you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brawler, send pictures of your charger. Heck yeah, we'll show, because we show pictures. That's what we do on Tuesday night. We show picture show. People send pictures of their cars, their the roads they drive on, their faces, everything. Vacuum headlight covers. Yeah, like my 67 Cougar was like that. It was like, where's my hands? It was like, thoop. Molasses. Bad word for today.
I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Oh, you're using a regular wrench rather than the Knipex?
It came out. So. Trying.
Demonic Beast, I just started streaming. It's addicting and cool. Don't want to stop.
Started streaming? That's awesome. Tell us about it.
Yeah, what are you doing, Demonic Beast? Is that the name of your channel?
If you're here and you're being cool, we will endorse, or not endorse, but you know.
Yeah, talk it up a bit.
If your content is good, people will come back.
Streaming is beaming. Sort of is, isn't it?
I hate streaming. I don't like cars either.
Oops, turned that the wrong way. Ending my 3-day not smoking Oh, you're ending your 3-day not smoking cigarettes? Does that mean you're going on to the 4th day, or does that mean you're done with the trial?
You've ended it.
Oh man!
I had enough of that not smoking.
You know, my mother tried to stop smoking her entire life, and finally the last year she was able to quit, but by that time it was too late, and she died like a year after she quit. And then my father, Kim, you sure are noisy.
Okay, I'm sorry.
My father quit smoking when he was 40, and he lived all the way till he was 91, and he, after a while, he just didn't like it. You're not done. You're still making all that racket.
Okay.
Land and Custom Classics. Howdy.
He said, you're not done.
Jack says, I have to quit. You know what my dad did? I don't know what worked for you. My father, man, Kim, you sure are noisy tonight. Running machines and...
What to do?
It's over there running a grinder while I'm trying to talk. So my father, he used to buy cartons of cigarettes. And he went and bought a carton of cigarettes, and he said, that's the last carton I'm ever going to buy. And he smoked them just like he always did, right up the end, and then never bought any more. That worked for him. I'm waiting for Kim to stop making noise. That may not be possible tonight. assume everybody can hear that racket. Oh, live in the shop. Yeah, you're right. Live in the shop. Yeah, it is noisy, but...
Yeah, they understand. That's how it is.
Hey, Dave, I just looked it up. 1970 and 1980, Dodge Chrysler Plymouth ABC body heater control valve is cable controlled. And is that on the AC, factory AC as well? Or is that just on the non-AC?
My van, there's a hole in the top of the dash. You have to reach down in there, and there's a big lump of rag that you have to, when you want it to go to, when you want to change where the air is going, you have to, there's a lever in there, and you move the,
You're saying your noise wasn't
move the lever, and then you stuff the rag over here. And if you want heat on your feet, you move the rag, and you stuff the lever over here, and you stuff the rag back in.
Those Ford vans it's a vacuum control, and the vacuum line runs right by something where it's really hard to get at, on the engine. And the vacuum line, it's rubber, so it turns to crumbles, and then the heater controls no longer work. Well, there's a way to reroute that. On mine, I rerouted it. On hers, somebody took the cover off and stuck a rag in there. And
it's always been good enough.
Made it manual.
In the summer, we run the AC. If we need defrost, I gotta reach in and move the rag.
Dean Stevenson, I found losing a finger to be quite noisy. Ugh. Yeah. I remember that. When I cut my thumb off, I cut the end of the thumb off, and they sewed it back on, and it worked. But I was a kid, and I come running downstairs, holding it together, and my mother in the living room yells, "Be quiet, I can't hear the TV." And I said, well, I cut myself. So my father came out in the kitchen, and he looked at it, and he's running under the water, and blood everywhere. And my mother says, well, she yells from the living room, well, how is he? And my father says, I think the kid cut part of his thumb off. Then my mother comes out there, and she's just white. But he took me to the emergency room, sewed it back on. Still there, drew back on. My buddy's Ferrari wagon, we had to dump gas in the crab, probably in the carb, every time to get it to start. He has to put it neutral and gas it at stops to keep it running. Uh-oh. You lose a finger. Jack says you got 9 more. It'll be okay.
Who's this having problems with their car?
Jack says, you know what his name
Jack,
is.
I remember.
Yeah, and what that means is that's a slang name for a sleeping bag in the Navy. But anyway,
okay.
So I kind of resist saying that on here because I don't know. I'm kind of afraid of what YouTube can do to us. We drove that thing all over.
Oh, yeah.
One of these days, got to start working on the Studebaker. Yeah, one more thing. Oh, yeah, here's the Studebaker. We still have the Studebaker. I mean, it is. I'm trying to aim the camera. There's the front of the Studebaker. The rest of the Studebaker's around. It's just not handy right now.
Should I paint the intake manifold silver, or should I paint the intake manifold orange to match the motor?
Tony says that water in the idle circuit. Everyone says it. Okay, Jack, but I'm going to call you Jack. They stitched it back on, same as you, bub. I didn't scream like a little girl, like the other fellow I was wood chopping with did. Oh, geez. 2 of you got fingers cut off? Maybe it's not always your farts in the sleeping bag, okay. I'm in live auctions and shows all the time, okay. Okay, I gotta move this camera a bit because it's falling down. I don't want it to go down any further. Oh, this camera's kind of a pain. I like it, but it never really shines where I want it to, or points where I want it to. Oh, why is it not warming up in here? Oh, you turned that down. Okay.
Get it nice and close, sir.
No, I just moved it because it's like burning part of me and the rest of me's cold, you know?
Well, it really cooled off a lot with the door open like that. I'm sorry.
Buddy Carfano, never buy chopped meat from a butcher with no thumbs. Yeah. Well, it looks like a thumb in this meat. It's not even a question, Kim Borghini. That name was supposed to be a one-time joke, like 4+ years ago. I have stickers now. Yeah. When I saw it, see, my father was very, very. He never used foul language, but that's a word he used to say all the time. And he goes, "Well, that's what they call it. So they called it in the Navy." Oh, okay. Ronnie Shackelstein. Good evening, Buff and Kim.
Hey, Mr. Shackelstein. Welcome to the stream.
Or Sheckelstein. It's not Shackelstein.
Oh,
Sheckelstein.
sorry.
No, I pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, you taught me wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, bad skill set. The wood splitter was really quick, though. Yeah, I know a guy that lost a whole bunch of fingers. He was feeding paper into this big chopper thing. And the guy operating the chopper, they got off and whacked his bunch of his fingers right off like that.
Oh, now you're gonna have to click on the monetization that you're doing depictions of graphic violence or
No, it was
injury.
It was an accident. But he was a pilot, and they didn't sew anything back on. But he was a pilot, and he was able to fly fine. But it just, not a good day for him. Tim says, "Do I still get points for being quiet? Working on recreating my videos." Oh man.
Oh, Tim, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so Tim's
still not
here.
there.
So Tim's here and he's working.
Still trying to get his videos going. That stinks.
Okay,
I'm gonna
Kim.
go outside and use some.
And I'm gonna move this heater around here where I like it, where it's just gonna be a little bit warmer on me. Because what it's doing is warming the back of the chair, and the chair gets hot. Ooh, that's really warm. I moved the heater and man, it got warm. Seconds. His digits
I'll
flew
be
off.
right back. Should have been heart sky.
My camper video is almost 624K. Still going. Well, this thing, I've got it on low. This heater as low as it goes. And when I put it around the front here, it's really too hot. It was around the back. It was just heating up the back of the chair. And that wasn't helping. It isn't really that cold in here. Just enough. A little bit of chill. I don't know. Kim said I don't know what did she say? She said she's going outside for something. Well, I'm glad she's working on this thing because soon this Dart will drive out of here and be a driving vehicle again, and then we'll start on the aluminum car, I guess. I used to have a kerosene heater in my house and shop. That thing was great. Except to use kerosene. This electric, this little heater right here, and it just kind of puts some heat on me. But probably not too long from now, we'll be firing up that wood stove. Wood stove's good because we have a lot of wood around here. So it doesn't really cost us anything, at least not yet. I twisted my knee today. Uh-oh. Might slow me down for a bit. Accident. You know, there's a town in Maryland called Accident, Maryland. I know I landed real close to there one time at an airport, little tiny airport. The nearest town was Accident. Kerosene burns very clean when it warms up. You know, I used to run kerosene in a heater that I had in a shop in Ohio, and it was a block building, and that thing was man, it ran and ran and ran. Man, did I go through a lot of fuel because it was cold there, and I could keep it about 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 1 degree below zero C. And that's as warm as I get it. And I had fluorescent lights, and the fluorescent lights are real dim, you know. And I built a wood stove out of a 55-gallon drum, one of those kits. And the first night I lit that thing off, it was 70 in there. All the lights were bright, and shop was warm, and I took my coat off. Oh man! But that was quite a heater. That 55-gallon drum wood stove. The only thing with those is they only last a year or two because they rust through. They're not thick enough. Tim says you went out to sneak a smoke. Nah, I don't think so.
No.
She's a no smoking, no drinking
I would go outside
kind of person.
Smoke, but I don't.
She'd go outside if she was gonna smoke.
Well, yeah, that's just only polite, right? No, I was out there with the brake clean, spraying that. Oh man, come off. You can smell it.
I can smell it. I can smell something now. When you came in, I could smell it. Mesquite is plentiful here. You know, we have oak trees all over the place, and oak trees, big chunks just fall to the ground, and so we have those. We have one oak tree that grew out over the house, like one limb, just, and you know that's gonna break off one day. So I hired somebody to go up there and take that all down. So that limb right there is what, that one limb pretty much kept us warm last year. And we have some more big pieces that we have to go out there, chainsaw, and cut up. So we'll probably make it through the winter, unless we have a super cold winter again. We had 2 winters. The last 2 winters were extremely cold for here. And I know the locals were complaining about it, saying, well, it was the last time, back in '83, you know. So, yeah, it usually doesn't get that cold here, but it was below 0 Fahrenheit here, which is really unusual.
Hey, what do you know about vacuum gauges, vacuum signals? I have a project that I wanted us to make. Maybe I was hoping you might help.
You have a vacuum gauge, and so do I. Why? What do you got?
So the problem with that vacuum gauge is it's not accurate enough for what I want to do with it.
It's not accurate enough.
Okay, so what I want to do, I want its degree of precision to be tuned differently.
Take an old clock like that one on the wall, a cheap clock. Take one of the hands, like the big hand.
Okay.
Take that stupid little battery clock out. Put your vacuum gauge in there. Put the long needle on it. You know what I mean? So now your vacuum needle's like this long.
So let me explain what
and then you can spin it. Then it'll vibrate like this, and you'll be able to see it really well.
This feels nice. Whoa.
Oh, isn't that nice and warm?
Nice
and yeah, it's nice and warm right there.
Oh, it feels good. I'm blocking the warmness from you a little bit. Here.
Oh yeah, don't get too close. It'll start burning you.
Okay, once it starts burning.
And that's as low as it goes.
Oh, okay. No, this goes down.
Yeah, but that just cycles it on and off. This sets the warm and the not so warm. Okay.
Congratulations about your Studebaker landing Custom Classics.
Where's this?
He didn't say anything about it. He just.
Oh, okay, I missed
He
something.
twisted his knee today.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I missed the thing about I have a pellet stove in my shop. I've never used one of those. Hmm. Yeah, the oak is okay. I don't really like oak trees a lot, but I'm glad of that. You know what we need to do is go down to those people down the street that have all that wood sitting there. But they're still, I don't know how we'd pick it up. They're huge pieces. You know, engine hoist to pick up those pieces of wood, or go down there and they'd let us cut it right there.
Yeah. Um. Oh,
Oh, what?
I wanted to try and do an experiment. For the porting, and I'd like to be able to compare flow. We don't have a flow gauge, and a vacuum gauge is not the right accuracy range for
You want to
something
do
like
it?
that.
You want to do something off the car?
Yes. And what I thought is if we could make something that would, plug into either the cylinder head or the port, and then use something, like a vacuum cleaner is going to suck the amount of flow that a car is going to try and suck.
So then we need to measure it.
We need to measure the change.
Okay, so who do we know that knows a lot about that kind of stuff? I know somebody that knows a lot about that kind of stuff. And that would be Andy Wood. And I bet if we talked to Andy Wood and said, hey, we want to make like a cheap homebrew flow bench, I bet he'd help us with that. Using like a vacuum cleaner or something. Let me try to get a hold of him. We'll make our own little flow bench.
Well, okay, so what I was imagining, and I'm trying to gather scientific-y stuff, right? I got this tube that used to be a LED light that died, right? And then...
Dean Stevenson would like this. That's not a terrible instrument.
So...
I thought it was going to be a good musical instrument, but it's not.
How I'm thinking it would work. I hope you guys find this interesting, because it's going to take a minute to explain myself here. So...
Why did the chat stop? Oh, Dr. Go's here. Andy Wood and Charles Cervidio. I always struggle with that name.
Cervido?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's spelled right.
Vidi?
Would know flow bench stuff. Yeah, Andy Wood. I know Andy Wood enough that I could call him and talk to him about it.
So inches of mercury or inches of water, the thing of it is it's...
Oh, I see. Now I understand where you're going.
It's not incredibly relevant CFM. We don't know CFM. We don't care.
Yeah, you want to just do a
I just want to be able to compare before and after or side by side for flow, right?
Okay.
If we had this, so you can visually, put gradations, you could put a ruler or whatever, and you could make it so the ruler can attach and slide up and down so that you can calibrate.
Okay.
Right? And so beside this, you'd have a tank, right? And then you'd be measuring atmospheric pressure, right? So this would be 0, wherever the water level is.
Okay.
The other pipe you don't have to see. You just know it has that much water in it, right? And then you hook the vacuum cleaner tube to a T up here. So the vacuum cleaner goes this way, and the port goes that way. And now when it sucks, depending on how much this lifts...
we might be able to do something like that. Rich just popped in. Hot wire anemometer. They use 28 inches of mercury on flow bench, right? I'm not sure what they use. I don't know. But, you can use mercury. You could use water. What's what she's saying. You could use water.
But see, if we did it this way, you would not know how many CFM, but you would be...
Right. It'd be a comparison between a...
Comparison. You could say, have I done better?
A stock head versus one that's ported.
And you put the valve in, and then you put a dial indicator on the valve, and you use some kind of lever to open it a specific amount of opening, because a wide open port is not a good...
Who else had talked to me is Shane Polito.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to tell you buy a flow bench, and a flow bench is
I'm
like,
not buying a flow bench.
yeah. But I think we could homebrew something that gives us some kind of, so we can show, like, look, better, more gooder. Like seat of the pants. Like Tony uses
Yeah, I know.
seat of the pants. It's like,
I like this homebrew stuff. I've done a lot of stuff like that
I
when I
think it'd
don't
be
have
interesting. And when we did porting videos in the past, they did really well.
when I
Remember how well that porting video did?
yep, when I don't have the best equipment, sometimes I find something that works real well. That's not expensive. You're
I
right.
think I have some a Fernco that will go on here to connect to, and then we need a looper and some kind of tank.
Looper. You mean like a
Just
U?
Oh, a U, and then some kind of tank. Hot wire Oh, I understand. An anemometer. That's like a flow meter, and they are expensive. Right. Well, yeah. And
Email Charles. See, I don't know Charles. He has helped me. He and Andy know each other. Yeah, yeah, of course, and well, Andy, you know where Andy works. So, he works with. So,
has anybody ever seen anybody do a home brew? What's that called? I guess
flow bench.
Flow bench.
We do industrial dust and material
Conveyance
systems.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know what I need to do is research it a little bit, and yeah, let's figure this out.
I think it would be cool.
I think it'd be cool too.
I'm trying to approach having the cylinder head put together and put on this car. So
but then, yeah, you want to get.
I don't want to slow it down too much.
Yeah, and that's a big slowdown, because even if it takes just 2 or 3 days, it's a big slowdown. I want to get this thing going.
I know.
Maybe we should just put it together. This is you know what's going on.
Project bloat.
Yeah. Project bloat or project creep, whatever you want to call it.
We'll put a pin in it.
It's happening. Don't put that where we can't get at it.
I'm just trying to put it up out of the way so that it doesn't get messed up.
Okay.
I thought it sounded like an interesting thing, but I also don't want to spend the rest of my life working on this Dodge Dart.
You move paper scraps and powder products. That's rich. Oh, you're changing bottles. Why don't you drink out of the big bottle?
I'm watering it down. I do not like straight.
You're adding it to water. Okay.
Way too strong.
I don't know, but would an HVAC contractor have anything that measures flow CFM, and they could educate you on what they work? Yeah, you know what it's going to do. It's going to turn into project bloat, and we were going to fix a rear main seal, and we're 6 weeks into it, 5 weeks into it.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, we're 5 weeks into it.
What he's saying is, come on, Kim.
Because we got distracted with
I do get distracted.
more and more and more stuff on this Dart. And yeah, I think we need to get the pistons in, get the bearings, you know what I mean, get the head on it and drop it in the car,
All right.
And maybe we can do a flow bench some other time.
Some other day.
Yeah, because I started going off on this thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. And then pretty soon I'm thinking, oh yeah, we're going to have weeks building a flow bench. And the car's going to sit here. Yeah, at some point,
I would never.
This car needs to drive.
Yeah, it does.
And you've already talked me into like putting an automatic transmission in it, and the frame repair, and all this other stuff that's really cool. That's good we're doing, but
I would never.
And I hope this week sometime we can get me a car. The check's in the mail. You know how that is.
That's check's a famous last word.
Check's in the mail. Well, that's what they're telling me. Check's in the mail. Well, when the check gets here, I know what'll happen then. I can't believe they sent me a paper check. They can't just dump it into my account. No, they got to send me a paper check. So then I'm going to take the paper check to the bank, and then they're going to hold it for 12 days or something, you know?
Yeah, they are. Because money.
No flow bench may cost you 1 second loss or 0.01 second loss in the eighth mile. Hey, John Copes here. How you doing? Hey, I was just. Oh yeah, you saw me. I was in your live tonight. Pretty good customer service there, sir. Do I watch Silas over at Adventures Made from Scratch? No, I have not. See, John Copes here.
I heard. That's why I come over.
Oh, you came over.
We're still doing Kung Fu fighting. Sorry, John. Next week we'll have the new computer and it will fix the Kung Fu fighting thing. Hoo! Ha!
Yeah. But we're going to have to turn some fan on here higher up real soon.
I
What are
am
you
punching
doing?
you. Kung Fu stuff. I am more powerful than you will ever see.
You missed that live, didn't you? Yeah, I was telling you about it. John Copes live tonight.
I know, I didn't get to watch it. I'm sorry. But we can watch it again. Rewatch it again. I so want a torque converter for this car, but you know what, John? I looked at it and the transmission for this car is the 18 spline small hub crank, and there's nothing off the shelf.
Wait a minute. The crank.
The crankshaft of this engine is the small hub because it's a 67 engine. And then the automatic transmission that I have is an 18 spline input shaft. So I know that makes it not a very good candidate for a torque converter. And I would like a higher stall torque converter, but I don't know. Hard converter to get, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody probably have to cut the one that I have open and rework it, and that's money. And I don't have time. And we're putting it together. We're putting it together now.
This car went to No Name Nationals leaking oil. It came back here, and we're going to fix the rear main seal. And we're 5 weeks into that, and we've got, huge project bloat going. Time to put it together. And if you want to, it's not that hard to take a transmission out.
Yeah, we can do it again. Because everything will be fresh and clean and easy to work on.
Keep the millennial anti-theft device. Yeah, see, I don't mind the 3 on the tree, but yeah, it would be more pleasant to drive with an automatic,
It's cheaper to do the converter that you have. Yeah, well, I have other stuff, but we don't have the time and the money to do the conversion right now. But building the car and sorting it and getting it running and having everything else working is a step towards being able to do more performance stuff. So it's on the horizon, but I think it has to wait.
On the horizon. You know what I see on the horizon? A C4.
C4?
That's an automatic transmission.
Oh, I thought that was an explosive.
Well,
putty.
It could be. No, I'm talking about the one that goes in a Ford. Because, I know a question I got. John Cope. Ford, like 40 years ago, Fairmonts, that era, they had 200 cubic inch 6 cylinders with automatic transmissions behind them, and they also had V8s, and the V8s I know had a C4 behind them because I've had those before. Does the 6 cylinder have a C4, or is it some other kind of thing? So I guess the question is, can you just change bell housings on that trans, or do I have to go look for a transmission? Because, see, I'm thinking ahead. Building a cleaver or something, and building a C4 for it.
Cool.
I have one in my 65 Mustang. Oh, man.
Nice. FMX.
FMX. I had an FMX in my 64 Ford, and that came out of that was a 351 Windsor, and an FMX that came out of a 69, it came out of a 69 Ranchero. What year? The Fairmont would be a 78. 78 Fairmont with a 200 cubic inch 6-cylinder. And I'm just thinking ahead. Do I got to go look for another transmission? I thought a straight 6 and a V8 small block was the same bell. Oh, it could be. Oh, I don't know.
That'd be nice because Ford does different bell housings on a lot of
Ford,
stuff.
even 289s. I remember 289s with a 5-bolt and with a 6-bolt. And see, I was from that era with the 63, 64, 65, 66 engines, and I never had the right 5-bolt or 6-bolt. So after a while, I had all these bell housings around, so I could always make my engine and transmission bolt together. But man, those days are long gone.
I have a question for him, if I can.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. John Cope Racing. So a C4.
Okay.
Okay, good.
C4 Corvette. Oh, yeah, different kind of C4. Oh, I had one of those, too. I had a C4 Corvette for 10 years.
We're not talking about Corvettes right now. We're talking to John Cope, because he probably cannot stay long. He has a tendency to pop in and pop out. And I had a question for him.
He's a busy man. I
have, from a 93 Dodge Ram 1500 4x4, an A518 hydraulic, RH, not an RE. And it is the 4-wheel drive model. The transfer case was busted in half, but the transmission is good. I don't have any 4-wheel drive stuff here. I would love to have an overdrive transmission, an A500 or an A518 hydraulic, so I don't have to have a computer to control it. So if you know anybody in the market for such a transmission, an A518 RH, I know that they are rare, kind of hard to come by, and this is a good one. Can you let me know? Because I would like to sell it. I've looked into like converting it to a 2-wheel drive model, and the parts can be pretty expensive, and it's I know I could convert it to a 2-wheel drive, but you have to take it completely apart and buy the new tail shaft housing and whatnot. And I think that it would be a better idea to sell it and use that money to buy
transmission from John.
What I'm looking for, yeah. Yeah, and if you knew somebody who had a 4-wheel drive that was blown up, the housing was cracked, or they just needed one, this one is good. It was not a high mileage truck. It was a rotted truck. The rust was really bad, and it had a good engine, good transmission, and a busted transfer case. So, anyways, known good. It's sitting here in dry storage, wrapped in a plastic bag.
The 144, 170, 200-inch Ford had a different bell housing. The 250 and later 289, 351. Okay, so the one I'm looking at is a 200 cubic inch, but it's a 78. So okay, so it's probably different. And I'd probably build a 302 or a 351 for it. I had 351 Windsors and really liked those engines, but then I see somebody like Dallas with that cleaver, and I get kind of excited about that. Well, the thing is, if I buy an older Ford that's pretty nice, I'll feel so good that I've got something that I can turn into a kind of a street race car again, and I'd be back to that like I was 40 years ago. That'd be kind of fun. But it's just I've never had one with a small 6 in it. Like a 200-inch 6. So I can get you the 2-wheel drive output shaft and tail housing for about $300. Did you see that? Yeah, and then
and that's a really good value.
The 260 and early 289 V8 had the the 5-bolt, You know, Blue Grid, I went through so much of this back then with 5-bolt bell housings and 6-bolt bell housings, and it always seemed like I had the wrong combination until after a while, every time I saw a bell housing, I'd snap the thing up, so I had a bunch of them, so I could always put engines in. I remember all this, and then I had a 289 with a 5-bolt 289, and somebody sold me. I pull a head off of it, and of course, it was a 260, which I was kind of upset about because I thought it was a 5-bolt 289, as I had a 260. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was my era. Was all that stuff. And
John, that sounds like an amazing deal. I have done the research, and yeah, that's the going price. But buying from a stranger is sketchy, and
I'm gonna buy from him.
yeah, I would buy that from you. John, can you let me know?
We can run up there.
Really, that would be really cool to pay a visit to
It'd be
Campo
fun. Yeah, we could. I'd like to drive up there, and it's not that far. Oh, you're taking off. Okay, John. Hey, thanks for letting us pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe Kim will get that stuff for you.
I would like to. I have cash, American cash, and I would like those parts, and we would be willing to make a day of the drive to come up there and get it, and maybe even make some video content with you if you'd like to do that. So let me know how we can move forward with that transaction.
But he says, would you need a C6? No. You know what? That's what I used to think. But you know what? Watch Andy Wood with his mixed up boss. Extremely fast pickup truck with a C4 in it. Just amazing.
And he's going to drive it like an old man. We're not buying it for racing. We're buying it to drive and enjoy. And
you know I'm going to jump on it once in a while.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you're not going to
you know what convinced
push
me?
It to its absolute limit.
When I see what Andy Wood does with his, it's like, okay, C4 is fine. You know. So, what are we doing here tonight?
I was working on.
Yeah, you were grinding and making noise and everything, and
oh yeah. Sorry guys for talking directly to John Cope for a long time. I just he was here. He usually doesn't stay for long, so we appreciate him coming in and supporting the channel and maybe doing business with him. He's good people. If you ever need transmission stuff, he's definitely somebody you want to talk to. And that would be great. If I could get that going, then we would have an overdrive transmission for the 360 that we could put in a project, and that would be a monster engine to put into something.
That'd be a great transmission to put into this car.
This car doesn't need a transmission that heavy. The 518 is like a truck transmission.
I'm thinking it would be at least it would be an overdrive transmission.
Yeah.
That would be great. Yeah, buddy Carfano. That's Casper, the Tony race, that has a C4 in it. Is that amazing or what? Did you see that race? And then he was at No Name Nationals this year. And seeing that in person and knowing that that's a C4, man. No problem talking to Mr. Cope. So, Buff, what is the car you're searching for now? I'm looking for a Fairmont Futura or a Mercury Zephyr Z7. And that's the little Fairmont coupe with the kind of chopped down top and the band around the top like a T-bird. The little Fairmont. Kind of short and little thing. And maybe a Mustang, but probably not. See, I had a Futura before, and I really liked that car. So that's probably what I'll get. My old-timer Buds has a 360 Duster pushing up daisies on his property. Did you know that in early 68, some Ford 302s were actually leftover 289s? I know in 68 they had both. The blocks and heads had 302 casting on them. When you rebuild them, the cranks and rods had, no, I didn't know that. I know there were some 68s with 302s. And you know what? Or with 289s. And you know what? In Mexico, the 289s were well into the 70s. And if you know Mexican Spec in here, he gets cars that are into the 70s, like Mavericks. A Maverick with a 289 in it, which is just blows me away that they had 289s that late. Kim disappeared. I don't know where she went.
I'm here.
You're here. No, actually, I didn't know that the 302 ones that said 302 on them were 289s. Huh. Yeah, I worked on one 221, wasn't mine. And I had a 260. I had several 289s. I had at least one 302. No, I had two 302s. Maybe a couple more. And then one, my favorite one is my 351 Windsor. Man, I really liked that engine. I was looking at sedans or wagons. I think those sedans look slightly smaller. Okay, look up if you're in front of a computer where you can look up the like Google Images. Look up Fairmont, like 1979 Fairmont Futura, and it's a coupe, but the top is lower. It's a lower top than the sedans and the wagons. And I've had both of those. I've had a couple of wagons. God, have I ever had a sedan? I've had a couple of wagons, and I had one Futura coupe, and man, I like those things. I like them because the top doesn't look so. The wagons and the sedans, the top looks like a big block going down the road. I don't really like that.
Brake fluid's not taking its paint off this. Why?
Yeah, you know, brake fluid will take paint off when you don't want it to.
Yeah, but it ain't really very good paint remover.
But he says there's a Maverick grabber in a field near me. Man, I remember those things brand new. I guess it's been a while, like 50
We're
years.
not looking for a field find car.
Nah, I don't want a field. No, I want something I can get in, turn the key, and drive it. You know, the day I buy it, it's like an old man's car that's been in a garage and no miles on it.
But
And those cars are out there, and I'll get one.
We know it's a sort of something that we have to search out.
And then there's some that are rollers that are really nice cars, but yeah, I don't really want
A lot of times people want a bunch of money for them.
Yeah, and the rollers seem they want a lot of money for them.
Oh, did anybody see Chris Birdsong from Junker Up?
What do you see?
You're 74 Charger.
You're making so much noise, I can't hear what you're saying. You're banging around. What'd you say? Something about a Charger.
Chris Birdsong selling one of his Chargers.
Oh.
It's the one he took to duct tape drags this year, I think.
Ford had huge industrial strikes in 1968 and shifted the production source from CEP2 to Windsor, Ontario. So the block got filled up with whatever they had cast. The 289 302 thing was a 68 U.S. event. I remember in 68 going to the Ford dealer, and the cars that were there, the first 68 Fords I saw all came from Canada. I remember that. Brake fluid, good paint remover. She's trying to use it for paint remover, and it's not working. And I said, you know what'll happen if you drop it on something you don't want the paint to come off of?
Mm-hmm.
It'll come right off.
Right off. You know it. Don't pour.
Oh, what is that smell?
It's that
gas.
Gasoline.
Look at Dr. Joe's red Cordoba. He bought the no-name NASA roofline. Looks kind of like a Futura. Yeah, he took me for riding that. I went down the drag strip in that car. And then he came to Clarksville, near where we live, and stopped in Kentucky and helped after my big old crash on the interstate, helped bring a bunch of my stuff back to Clarksville. Oh, are you gonna fire that torch up right next to my shoulder?
No, you're gonna move a little bit. You can adjust the camera if you like. Adjust the heater if you like a little bit. Those kinds of things.
Why did you put that sending unit in there? Oh, because I'm thinking you're gonna paint. Then you're gonna paint that. Oh, that's not a sending unit. That's a vacuum. That's filthy. Yuck. She handed me something, turned my hand black. Yeah, you know, maybe you're right about the I can't look at pictures here right now. What are you doing? Just warming it up so you can paint it? Warming up her manifold. Yeah, you know that Cordoba, that may have a top kind of like that. I'm back and did find the Futura. My neighbor had one when I was younger. It does look nice. Yeah, the top, I think the top is much lower than those, like the two-door sedan or the four-door sedan or the wagon. Can you guys hear me over that torch?
Did anybody see the flames shoot out?
Bluebeard, I have to go. I guess I will miss Kim lighting your mustache on fire. Better not do that. Okay, Bluebeard, thanks for stopping by. It's good to have you here. Dr. Lewis, side view has a similar look to my car. You're right. Just the front isn't slanted like mine. Yeah, I'd forgotten kind of what the top looked like on that car of yours. Well, you remember, I always liked those cars, and then you show up to No Name Nationals, and you're driving one, you know. And, yeah, I like those. But see, my younger days, I had all these Fords with small blocks, and I'm, you know, of course the check's in the mail, you know, but when I get the money for my car, I kind of want to go buy a Fox body and build another car, like kind of like what I used to have. Okay, don't move over here. Are you going to take that over there and paint it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take it outside. I don't want to have to breathe all that stank again.
Well, if you would take it over there, like, over on that side, we'd probably be okay. You see, Dr. Go, if I got one of those cars like you have, man, I don't really, of course, I was going to say I don't really have parts for it. Actually, you probably have more parts for it than the Fords. Because my whole Ford,
I know how to work on the one like Dr. Go because I had a car just like that.
all my Ford stuff is gone. I'm going to have to store up Ford stuff again. I did purposely want to surprise you. You sure did. Once I saw you like the car in your life just before No Name Nationals, I figured you wouldn't believe it. Yeah, and thanks for taking me for a run. Gas Axe, Kimbergini. Yeah, it's like 1 degree above Body
Room?
temperature. Yeah.
Really? Okay. I didn't even touch it. I know. I wasn't trying to get it hot. I was trying to get it.
Yeah,
prepped.
get it. Get the.
Trying to make it prepped.
Yeah,
Is there tape over here? No.
I don't know. The tape. What kind of tape?
Oh,
Some you want to not so you don't paint the inside.
I want to. Yeah. I want to
Stuff a paper towel in the carburetor hole. I don't know. You do what you want to do.
I want to tape over the stuff.
Tape over the
It's
stuff.
easy to do. It's real easy to do.
Oh, and then trim it off.
Mm-hmm. How's everybody doing? I'm sorry, I'm distraction tonight.
No, you're not. You're the one working. You're not we're distracting you, but we're having fun, and I'm not. Maybe you're having fun.
I'm having a good time. I'm working on my car. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's way out there. It's way out there, folks. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel where the car runs again. And I'm looking forward to it. I think about it a lot. I dream about the car and how we're going to do it. And I think about how can we make entertaining content with this car. Stuff people want to watch. Because, I mean, I want to work on the car and I'm not going to just go buy a car just as content of buying cars. Like, I'm not going to chase that part of the algorithm. We can't just do will it runs. We have to do... You know what I just watched? I just watched Vice Grip Garage do a teardown on an engine. It was like a Ford 302 or something like that. Just like what we're doing.
Dr. Ghost says, my car is super slow. But it was geared for good
for
fuel economy. Yeah, but I love the comfort of the bucket seat. I like that car, man. I mean, just car to drive down the road. Salom Dada. Nice. Good evening. Welcome to the chat. Raining Slant 6. Hey, Kim and Buff, did you ever check to see if you got one of those older TOC aluminum die cast 6 mounting? Oh, we haven't done anything with the oil pump.
On this?
Yeah, read what he wrote there.
Okay. Did you ever check to see if you got one of those older TOC aluminum die-cast 6 mounting bolt oil pumps from a Slant 6? I'll tell you in a minute. We've got 2 Slant 6s. I'll tell you what they have. This one's got the
Rich sounds like he's fine, Kim and Buff.
This has an original 6-bolt pump. This one's got one. I'll check the other one. Probably has the same thing. It's the same vintage. Look, here it is in the hole.
And
30 days in the hole.
And Olive's here. Okay, I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying over there, Kim. I'm sorry. I was reading chat.
Darn it. And then here you go. Here she is. Mr. Raining Slant 6 with a chance of cannonballs at your request. 6-bolt oil pump. There, it's right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ta-da! I got 2 of them on hand, in stock. New old stock. Old
Stock, yeah. Yeah, but he says unless you're building a race car, you don't need big horsepower.
I mean, a couple of 100 horsepower is a lot of horsepower.
Cars I always had fun with were like the 300 to 400 horsepower range.
That's a lot of horsepower.
They're just fun cars to drive down the street, and I could usually, if you geared them right, you could still get close to 20 miles a gallon, and that's okay. As long as they weren't big, heavy cars. My 64 Ford would get almost 20, like high 19s if I was going 55, 60, you know, but it was geared high. But it'd fly down the road if I wanted it to. Hey Dean, I wasn't on HVAC today. Actually mostly was up at 4 a.m. dealing with an unlikely number of people running out of gas at the same time. Oh, geez. Dr. Who, I like the Slant 6 content. Every time I see the 12 ports on that head, I keep thinking how heavy it must be compared to my 318 head. Yeah, but there's only one. All work is educational.
It is heavy. Go ahead. Sorry.
Dean says aluminum dreams. With what is that? You're gonna have to tell me what that is. Dean's
Oh, he's got me there. I have no idea what that means.
Dean's encrypted messages.
But I'm glad he's here. He's fun. Burning the early morning.
Going out getting people gas.
All right, guys. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna throw some paint on this.
Oh, I thought you're taking the wood with you. Okay, you're gonna set it on something out there.
Set it on something.
But he says got 300 horsepower, small block in my Buick, makes great cruiser. Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to have anything super fast. I just want something that, you roll into the throttle and it picks up speed quickly. That's what I want.
Hey, I want something when someone pulls up next to me that I can pull away from them, but I don't want to race. I just want them to go, oh, shoot.
Like, I won't have anything like Dallas or Shane, because that's not what, that's a lot of money into one car for one purpose, and a lot of time. I want something I can drive on the street and it's not slow. Something when I get on an on-ramp and I roll into it, it just gets with it. With a standpipe and anti-drain back disc and the small 22 thousandths wire diameter anti-drain back compression spring that's about half-inch diameter, about 750 thousandths free length if you put that oil pump. Okay, Kim's outside right now, so if you can hang on with this, because you've already lost me. She's been a Slant 6 person so long. Rich, I like the 289-302 Ford small blocks. The K code was a monster small block. That Mercury Futura would seem to be a bit lighter, so it should move fair with a 2 to 300. Oh yeah, my Futura had a 302 that I built that was I don't know what it had. Probably bumping up near 300 horsepower, and that thing was. Yeah, I just think, probably 1 horsepower per cubic inch, yeah, probably. And that thing was nice. And they're about the little Mustang coupe, not the hatchback, but the coupe. They're about 175 pounds heavier than that car. And I don't know what the hatchback Mustangs weigh. The little Fox body hatchbacks. But I know the coupes are pretty light, and it's a little bit heavier than that. Dirt Road Landing, how you doing? Just finished watching the new Beetlejuice movie with family. Oh, okay. Dean Stevens, I'm very partial to the G-Code 302 tunnel port street and race engines. See, I don't know much about that. The ones were never made aside from 50 inventory fillers for SCCA. These guys are running these cleaver engines. That I find that to be, after watching. It was the Boss 302. Oh yeah, I know what that engine is. The like Dallas run a Cleaver engine. Those, man, those get with the program, Smells a little like paint.
Yeah, well, that door isn't the most sealed door.
No, it's fine. I just smell it a little bit. It's not like overwhelming.
Right. It's not
You didn't fill the shop with paint dust. Yeah, didn't the Boss 302? Didn't the coolant port was different than the Cleveland, but the head design was very similar. I don't know, like the Cleaver engines, you got to drill holes and run the coolant out the front of the head, which is no big deal. It's just, you just got to do it. And I don't know, I really like those engines. Man, I watch that one. I don't know, if you're at No Name Nationals, if you watch the videos of Dallas running that T-Bird, oh my God, man. No, the 68 302 engine in 4-barrel, dual quad firm that Sam Posey tested. Sam Posey tested in Titus one with. Okay, so I'm not real familiar with that. But car front, Uncle had a 64 Chevy, 327 4-speed. It went pretty good. When I put the small block Chevy in my Cougar, the Ford, the oil pan's in the front. The sump's in the front and the Chevys are all in the back, and you can't really run a Chevy sump in the Ford. So that's what I used, was the 64 Chevy 327 oil pan, has the sump in the front. And so I used a Chevy 2 oil pan on my Ford, so I could run the small block in it, or Mercury. Dr. Go, the car I raced at No Name Nationals had over 100 more horsepower than me, and 900 pounds lighter. I still had 300 extra pounds in my trunk, and it had a 6-speed, so my highway gears and 3-speed. He was 2.6 seconds faster, yeah. Oh, what do you got there? Oh.
A new box.
A box in a box.
I got a new box.
Oh, you needed the box.
No.
This is a gasket set. Oh, I thought you were going to use that box to paint with.
No, I'm done. The painting's outside. I'm good.
My Slant 6, I bought a... well, there's two parts to this story. I bought a gasket set from... who's that from? What's her name? Rock Auto. And it came in a... it's a big box like that, but it came in a smaller box, and they folded the gas. They folded it. So the head gasket was folded. So I let them know about it. Man, they had me another one right away, and I sent the other one back. But so they took care of it. It's just, I can't believe somebody folded a head gasket in half.
This looks pretty good.
Bunch of bozos.
Engine Tech.
Engine Tech.
Engine Tech.
Okay. So here we go.
This is what I was looking for.
Kim,
check it out.
Up here, I got to scroll up because Raining Slant 6. Oops, that's not scrolling. Raining Slant 6. Well, yeah, but you got to go up here because he's talking up here for you. This right here. You see where I'm pointing? Okay, then tell me when to scroll down. You got that?
Okay.
Okay, then he goes on down here because I asked
an oil filter wrench to get the filter off. You'll see the standpipe and see it presses into the top of the oil filter mounting adapter base, which has the 1-inch hex on its base. Yes, I'm aware that you can unscrew the standpipe and inspect it. Thank you. I have not done that on this motor yet. I will need to do that.
Stevenson said rated at 240 horsepower gross.
That's why I opened this, is because I need those.
Oh, each needs the valve seals.
That's where I stopped yesterday. I was ready to get
Okay.
those, and I was like,
Rated 240 horsepower gross at 4,600 RPM and 68. And 250 horsepower gross and street dual quads. Ford got into way too much trouble with that engine. Huh.
would you help me lift this cylinder head back up? That'd be smart. Not injure myself. I think. Good to get some help.
Where are we going with it? Yeah, okay. Onto that piece of wood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to roll it this way.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Fingers.
Fingers.
Yep.
Okay now.
I'm fine. It's just they had my, that's why I wore the glove. I knew
Filthy mitts.
I knew the glove would protect me from something like that.
Sounds good.
I've seen both the street and race engines built up by Likens Motorsport. Trying not to get my fingers pinched.
Thank you. All right. She's all lapped up, looking nice. Look how nice. What do you think? That sounds
Buff,
nice.
is that 79 Futera before any computer control? Yes. Oh, I don't know. They have a electronic ignition. I don't know. Mine never did. It's a simple enough car. I just put it the way I want it. And in Tennessee, I don't have any problem with that. Just, nobody's ever going to say anything on a 40-year-old car.
And he's not going to drive it enough for it to be contributing to pollution or something.
It'll end up with a...
We're going to keep it in tune and it'll run good.
It'll end up with a six-cylinder, likely, for quite a while. And I'll drive it because we have the aluminum car to do, maybe the Studebaker to do, and maybe whatever car I buy to put an engine in. There's some maybes after the aluminum car. And then what else do we have? I know we have something else that's pressing. What was it? Okay, the Dodge Dart. The aluminum. Oh, my Valiant. My Valiant, we got to finish that. We got to rebuild the others. We rebuilt one side of the suspension up front. Rebuild the other side. And then I may do something with that Valiant pretty soon. Raining Slant 6. Okay, Kim, I want you to read these things that he puts up here because it's for you. You're the Slant 6 person.
Okay, I'm here. Okay, he says, you could leave the oil pump in the vise and use a 1/2-inch drill inserted into the standpipe top opening to keep the thin
36 thousandths wall thickness tube from
while you
crushing.
clamp the OD of the...
Oh, he's going to go on. He runs out of, you can only do
No, I understand. You leave the oil pump in the vise and use a 1/2-inch drill in the standpipe top opening to keep the... Oh, okay, you stick a big drill in there so it doesn't crush. But it's got a nut at the bottom that you can just turn. You don't need to twist it with anything else. The base of the standpipe has a nut, I believe. Does it not?
See, Buddy Car Farm says, what car would you buy if money was no problem? Man,
the base of this is...
I'd be looking for what I'm looking for, honestly. I'd be looking for one of those Futura coupes again. I might be able to buy an even nicer one. Oh, I don't know. What else do I like?
Give me the...
The Fox Body Mustang, maybe, because those just... They go for more.
Slant 6 with a cancer of cannonballs. I will remove this without anything fancy like that.
What are you doing? You're doing what he says to do?
No, I'm doing it the other way.
Okay, but you're taking it apart is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Okay, Buff, do you ever drink Yoo-Hoo? I'm not sure what is Yoo-Hoo?
Isn't that the chocolate stuff?
Yeah, no, I don't drink that. I may have. It sounds familiar, like I drank it once. It's like a It's not like chocolate milk. It's like some kind of chocolatey stuff. I can't drink that.
Chocolate. Drink.
Um, Rich, 78 was EEC1 going to 2. EC1 going to 2.
Well, it is in there
Okay,
pretty
here you
tight,
go.
rating Slant
Here you
6.
go. Here's more from Ratings. That's for you.
I've had him come out before. That sucker is in there pretty tight. Using vice grips to stem the adapter with a back. Okay. Let me see what I can do here.
That's it. It was hard concept for Bumako service techs to get through to. The Granada, Versailles, and Fairmont had 3 different versions for 78 and 9. Well, the Versailles was that was a different body, wasn't it? Well, I don't know what they had down under. The Granada and Versailles were springs on the top, kind of like a old Falcon or early Mustangs.
I got it. Raining Slant 6 came out. I didn't
And-
have to do what you said, but I understand what you said, but I didn't have to do it.
I guess there were some Granadas later that were Fox bodies. I don't know, but the Fairmonts were all Fox bodies.
There it is.
Okay, so you got it out.
That's the thing. There is an O-ring in there. That's probably not any good anymore.
It's kind of funny. He knew the thickness of the tubing.
And it is squished. Somebody else squished it in the past, but that wasn't me.
036 wall. Oh, somebody already squished it. Somebody already
Here, it's
squished
not
it.
that dirty.
Yeah, always hand me dirty stuff.
Show the camera. That's the part.
Oh yeah,
I got it out with
somebody else already.
a big wrench.
Somebody else already squished it.
It wasn't me. Maybe it was.
Here. No, you didn't squish that.
Might have.
Here. Well, not if you were using a wrench down there. You didn't squish that. Here.
So I got it out. No, Kim, it will be easier to separate the standpipe from the adapter between it. I see. Why do I have to take a standpipe out? So I can clean that check valve?
I'd buy a Tucker if money was not an issue.
I see.
You know,
it in
I
there.
really like Tuckers, and it's really a cool car, but
Why do I got to
Yeah.
take it apart, raining Slant 6 with a chance of cannonballs? I see there's a check valve in there.
be easier. And then there was a company that made Tuckers with the what's that engine they put in the Cadillacs and the Oldsmobiles for a while? The ones that have head bolt problems.
The North Star?
North Star. They put North Stars in the back crosswise in some reproduction
Really?
Tuckers, but I don't think they made more than a few of them.
It was just a kit car, or was it?
It was not a kit car. It was like a reproduction, and somebody on a forum I was on bought one of those things, and they had so much trouble with it. They were really unhappy they bought it. Yeah, Tuckers. Yeah, but then what are you going to do with it? You're not going to go out and drive it and risk, what happens if something happens to it? Geez, I've seen them in museums. I really liked them, but I don't know. Trying to think of what else. I mean, if you're going to get rare stuff like that. Oh, yeah, 63 Corvette split window. There you go. That's one I'd like. 67 Corvette, same body style, but, it's got 4-wheel disc brakes and big block, 427. 67 Corvette. That'd be a great car to own. Let's see. I don't know. Money or no object. I don't know. Lamborghini Countach. I like the looks of those things, but I'm not sure that'd be such a great daily driver. I always thought about getting a Pontiac, what do they call those things, Fiero, and putting the Ferrari kit on it, or getting the one that Pontiac actually marketed, the Mera, M-E-R-A, Pontiac Mera, which was a Ferrari-looking uh, Pontiac. What did I just say? Pontiac Fiero, and they actually sold them at Pontiac dealers until they got sued. 69 Yanko Camaro. You know, I had a 67 Camaro RSSS. What a nice car that was. Man, I wouldn't mind having another one of those. 84. And I had a 69 Camaro as well, but I liked the 67 better. I don't know why. I just liked it better. Little vent windows. I don't know. I really don't know why I like driving the 67 so much better, but I did. The Auto 84 Mustang 5.0 GTEE had no CPS. Ford had a weirder idea. TFI. Okay, I don't know what all that is. 84 Mustang was a 5-speed. A Batmobile with an Aston Martin James Bond DB5. You know, there's some, what is the DB7? Man, that's quite a car, but I almost bought one when I was making money. Almost bought one. And I had a Corvette at the time, and I really wanted that Aston Martin. And so I called up and I thought I was going to buy it. And I called up my insurance, and my insurance lady, and she quoted me a price, and it was 10 times the insurance cost of my Corvette. It's like, well, that was a deal breaker. And then I was, at the time, I was driving back and forth from Arizona to here in Tennessee a lot. And I thought, you know, if I get stuck in the Corvette, I go into in any AutoZone or anything, I buy parts for it. If I get stuck in that Aston Martin, I'm stuck. So I just didn't do it. Kim.
Yeah.
More here from Reigning Slant 6. But you're the one that needs to read this stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Go. In 79, a 6-year-old man drove his 63 split window to the gravel construction site every day. Oh, God. It's 18 driving it through.
Can you go up to the previous message by Rainy Science 6 just for a second?
Yeah, okay. That one? Okay, well, easier to separate the standpipe. Is that one or further up?
No, let's go down.
Okay.
And he says, Rainy Slant 6 with a chance of cannonballs is telling me the oil pump. You'll see how much of a reduction in the cross section on the inside that the pump must pass through. Look at the diameter inside the top of the standpipe, then turn it around. Okay,
and then there's more down at the bottom.
See how much smaller the hole is at the bottom of the adapter where it threads into the oil pump body. So you're saying it's a potential restriction.
Can you stay here for a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, I got this right.
Okay.
Well, what's this doing? This is such a nice thing, and I don't want it to get all greasy.
I'm sorry, bud. All right.
Flip over.
Careful! Take your time there.
Tripping over stuff.
Oh, I got myself all set up to put valves in. I know, I was getting set up to sweep, and you pulled me away to read chat.
Oh, there's like another.
Hi, everybody. Raining Slant 6 with a chance of cannonballs is in giving me a wealth of information about something that could be important, and it sounds like a restriction to the flow of oil right at the filter. We don't really want that, so I am going to do what you're suggesting and remove that and see if I can I just widen out that. I see the spring in there and stuff, so maybe I can just widen that out so that there's more flow through that. And we don't even really need a check valve because all the filters have check valves built in, like check flaps built into them. Maybe we can remove completely. He's sneaking out for a smoke and a beer. If he wanted to smoke and a beer, he could do that right here. Okay, let's see. The 1982 335 truck 5.8 and 6.6 had 206 CFM heads, but less power than the Crown Vic 351, which had 160 CFM heads and 170 horsepower. Dean, it sounds like CFM is not the answer for everything. Compression ratio and what else? Bore stroke ratio, and there's other things that determine how much horsepower an engine's going to make. Cam, those kinds of things. How did a two-barrel 351 HO Windsor had 10 more horsepower than a two-barrel 400? I think you could just, in the cam, you could do that. Probably. I don't know. I don't know. That's pretty wild. It seems like missed opportunity, doesn't it?
You're on the cord here. Okay, there. Now that's on the cord too. We got electrical cord. Electrical cords with heavy stuff on them.
There you go. Got it.
Oh yeah, it's cold out there. It's getting cold. It's getting colder out there.
Ooh, it is. It's a bit chilly.
Ooh, sit here by the heater now. Okay, let's see where we at. 8233. Where are we at here? I don't know where we're at. Okay, so you're doing all this. You're doing all this stuff. The raining slant fix with slant.
No, I think he explained what he was trying to explain, and I fully understand. There's a
okay, you
in there.
Fully understand. Okay, but he says Hemi Cuda convertible. I'm not. I had one convertible, and it was a '66 Mustang, and it was fun. I was in Southern California, running around with the top down. I drove it one time with the top up, and it was fun. But I'm in Tennessee. Weather's not as nice, and convertible isn't that important to me. But yeah, I can understand why people like them. The 82 335 truck 5.8 and 6.6 had 206 CFM heads, less power than the Crown Vic 351 Windsor HO. Wow. There was a Crown Vic with 351 Windsor? It's had 160 CFM heads. Man, you want all these numbers. I don't know any of these numbers. Tim says he's sneaking out for a smoke and a beer, and I had to walk over to the bathroom for a minute. Just need to take a break.
I told him if you wanted to smoke and a beer that you could sit right there and enjoy it if you like.
Smoke. Yeesh. No smoke. No smoke. The only smoke I like to smell is coming from tires. Exhaust and tires at the drag strip, How about a two-barrel HO 351 Windsor, 10 horsepower more than a two-barrel 400 Ford? Never understand them, even when they explained it. Yeah, I don't know anything about this stuff. Dr. Go, Tim, there was an Indiana company that was building Batmobiles with 5 stages of motors. Then got sued for copyright, trademark stuff, and they had there was a whole mess with that guy. And actually, I thought the whole thing got I thought he actually did okay on that, and they dropped it all. If that's the same one I'm thinking about, it was the guy that had all the molds for the Batmobiles. That's right, 170 horsepower P71 HO Windsor. P71 is a police car. The Windsor had 4 catalyst exhaust, Marine 206 degree 50 thou cam. Man, I don't know. I don't know all these specs you're giving me. I'm lost. Okay, here we go. More raining slant 6 for you.
The biggest restriction is trapped inside the standpipe and adapter, which is the anti-drainback disc and part of the formed bottom end of the standpipe tube, which is bullet-shaped. Okay. Okay.
Dr. Go, if you have the money, that guy would build another one. Rich, the 351 M400 was a boat. You can make them run, but I don't like how big they are. If I'm gonna have an engine that big with that bell housing bolt pattern, might just well be a 429. I don't know. Those engines are enormous. They're kind of weird, small blocks. There's more for you. You see it, Kim?
Yep.
Okay.
It has an even smaller inside diameter hole, which all of your oil will have to pass through. That's a problem. Okay, I will look into it. I can change the size of holes. We have the technology.
Buddy Carvana, Fairlane Thunderbolt. You know, right down the road here, we went to video a bunch of stuff with
we met a guy with one of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I did a video on it, on a Fairlane Thunderbolt. We were coming back from a place we parked to watch all the power tour go by, all those cars. And coming back, we stopped and we at some place that had some cars out front, and we went in and talked to the guy. This older guy in there, he had a Fairlane Thunderbolt sitting right there, and I did a video on it. So if you go back, it's a short. Isn't one of my shorts is on a Fairlane Thunderbolt, talking to the owner, looking at the engine, looking at the car. Pretty interesting. It's right down the road here. Those first Batmobiles were not crazy priced if a person really had to have one. My favorite TV car. Yeah, what's your favorite TV car? Olive, I'd rather have less power and be lighter, really. Yeah, I think you're kind of into the road race kind of stuff, Olive. From the way you talk about sway bars and handling and all that, I think you're into that. I like that too, except in today's traffic with these big trucks. And after that crash I went through, man, having a really lightweight car, that would have been a disaster. See, I want to build this aluminum car. When I get it done, I'm going to be afraid to drive it on the roads out here with these enormous vehicles that go down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what happened to this country with the like 40 years ago, 30 years ago, it was all like leaner, slimmer cars with fuel economy and all that. And now we've never, ever expected to see such enormous vehicles going down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I was never a drag racer either, but you know what? Going to the No Name Nationals is just such a fun group of people, and it is kind of fun. You know, you're walking around there and you hear all the engines running and the racing going on, and it's fun. I don't know if I'm a drag racer. I might. If I got a car that I can run down the drag strip, I might. Kind of like Dr. Go did. I went there and Dr. Go was running his Cordova LS down the drag strip. And it wasn't real fast, but it was kind of fun. And I strapped into that thing and put a helmet on, and he took me for a ride down the drag strip. It's the first time I ever been on a drag strip. It was kind of fun, you know? It's like, yeah, I'd do that.
I enjoy the community all year long. There's people working on projects and interacting, doing live streams, talking about their projects, working on cars. I like working on cars and machines, so it's nice to know people have, you kind of get to know who people are, so you can feel confident. Like, I would rather drive all the way up to wherever John Cope is to get that part for the transmission than buy a random one off of something here on Facebook Marketplace. You don't know what you're going to get.
All it says, if my car was agile enough, they won't hit me if they try. Yeah, that's what you think until somebody does. I've been in, 7 crashes? 6 of them. I was sitting still somewhere where I had nowhere to go, and somebody smashed into me from behind. And, it's just, What do? You're sitting there in traffic with cars on both sides of you, in front of you, and stoplight, and somebody comes up and they're poking at their phone or something, and wham, into you.
Bang.
And it's like, what do you do? And then, and if they're, if you're in a little lightweight aluminum car and they hit you with a F-250 or something that's jacked up, they come through your back window with 8,000 pounds of vehicle. And then like this clown that hit me, he was in my blind spot back there. He swerved to the left, and then it's like this. He swerves to the left, and then he comes in as close to 90 degrees as he could and smashes into my left rear. He hit me hard enough. It's like a super pit maneuver. He hit me hard enough that it totaled his car. He lost a wheel and lost a drive shaft when he hit me.
From the impact with his car.
And I really had to think about...
He didn't hit anything else.
He didn't hit anything else. I had to think about how he lost a drive shaft. You know what it was? It was a four-wheel drive vehicle, and it pushed the engine back far enough that it pulled the drive shaft out of the transfer case and dropped it on the ground. And there was a drive shaft laying in the middle of the highway from him smashing into me. I couldn't even see him. He was in my blind spot, and he did that intentionally.
We believe it was intentional.
Oh, it was intentional.
Everybody
as it
else
gets.
who saw it thought it looked intentional.
Everybody that was a witness said it was intentional, and that's why it's not my fault. It's just I don't know. I like these little aluminum cars and stuff until and you get some giant four-wheel drive jacked up truck going down the road at 10 feet behind you, 70 miles an hour. Some aggressive person in one of those things. I don't know. What do you do?
Could be very problematic.
How do you avoid that? Change lanes and hopefully they go around you, or hopefully maybe they just go around you anyway. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Dean says a 351M and 400. It was the only Cleveland that didn't break engine blocks, but the first to drop valves. Huh? I didn't know that. I've had those things around and worked on them and everything, but I wasn't really working on the engines. I was working on the cooling systems.
Well, when you were working on them, they were new cars still.
I guess we did a 351M. Maybe it was a 400. It was in a truck. And a guy that I used to work with, he and I had a shop, and we turbocharged one. And it didn't have any power till we turboed it. And then he didn't want to run an intercooler, so we were running a water injection system to control the detonation, which worked quite well. Ford gave with one hand, took with the other. FT 360 or 390. It's twice the engine of the 400 two-barrel is. I've had 360s and 390s and 406s. Never had a 428. I'd like one. Okay, Kim, Reigning Slant 6 has more for you here.
All right, I'm on my way.
Okay, I'll read it. Kim, you're right about this oil pump mounted anti-drain back being redundant and unnecessary if you're sure you're going to use an oil filter that has its own built-in anti-drain back flap valve.
So he's just saying that just removing it sounds like good. It's redundant, it's restrictive.
You just got to buy good oil filters, The 390 was a beast. I love the 390s. In fact, I saw one today, Kim, on Marketplace.
Yeah.
And it was a 1961 model, which means it's one you can bore 80 thousandths. And I'm thinking, ooh, I want that. But it was quite a distance from here.
Yeah.
And it was a little pricey. But what was really good is it still had everything on it. It wasn't all stripped down and stuff missing. And so many of those. I want everything. I want all the brackets and everything. I don't want something where I got to chase all that stuff down. And it was all there, but... that's a big old expensive project.
Oh, yeah.
And what am I going to put it in,
I don't know.
Dr. Go, friends were in a Prius, and a drunk driver with a lifted F-250 crossed the center line and rolled up the passenger side and killed the 15-year-old daughter.
Oh,
Put mom in the hospital. Mismatched sizes, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a little aluminum car when a big truck decides to be a jerk.
I see these guys coming toward me, and I'm watching their big wheels sticking out the side of the fenders, and they're creeping off. They got the tires on the yellow line, and I'm creeping off to the right, watching them like a hawk, because hoping they steer back into their lane. And I know what they're doing. They're poking at their phone, and their stupid big truck is ballistic going down the road.
What happened to that little plastic bag that had the little parts in it? Oh, never mind.
And I don't know. The FE and FT. What's in FT and FT and FT? FT3. Oh, the truck. FE and FT had reliability characteristics that Cleveland never exhibited. You know, I used to drive a tow truck that had a 391 in it. It was an industrial. It said 391 industrial. Looked just like a 390, but it said 391 industrial. And it wasn't real fast, but I think it probably had real high torque or something. We had two trucks that were identical except for the engines. And one of those 406s we built, we sold the car, or the friend of mine sold his car, somebody wrecked it, and that tow company ended up with it and lien sailed it, and he pulled the engine out, put it in one of his tow trucks, and I used to drive that truck a lot, so it had the 406 in it. And his other truck that was just about identical had the 391 industrial engine in it. Okay, more from Rainy Slant 6. Don't mistake what many filters also have, which is the bypass valve, which allows the oil to bypass the filter media if the valve senses the media is all plugged up with dirt. Is it completely more?
Yeah, that's a completely different system. I understand
Okay,
that.
state law got changed after that accident due to habitual abuser of OWI. Yeah, I just can't believe the size of the vehicles people drive. The whole thing, I thought, was like many years ago we were going to more European, like smaller cars and stuff, but the whole SUV thing got bigger. But a lot of the SUVs are mid-size or smaller ones now, like our little Jeep, that SUV size. I don't mind that. And then but the pickup trucks, I don't even know what they do with these things. I'm short. I'm 5'7", but if I stand one of those, like, that you fold the tailgate down, it comes to my neck. I don't know how you reach anything in there. And Fords have a thing that flips up and a ladder that flips down and all this stuff. It's like, man, they don't use them for trucks. I don't think. I think they just want to look cool. And here, I guess it's not a big deal here. Some states it is. A lot of states the tires can't stick out past the fenders. But here they got tires sticking out 6-8 inches, maybe a foot outside the fenders. You want me to do that for you?
Yeah. Not now, though. It's good. This one's good.
Okay. End cap safety cause the growth. I don't know about that. I think the whole ridiculous truck thing, though, is, I don't know.
Sounds like an excuse.
Part of it's probably politics, and of course, it sells.
Yeah, people like it.
People, I don't know where they get the money for this. Maybe somebody
They
has
don't,
money
they
for a
borrow it.
$100,000 pickup truck. I don't
They
know.
borrow it. Okay, can you take this back out slowly, like?
How does it go? Ooh. That came off. I'm sorry.
Keep going. Okay. Good.
It got all wiggly there. Sorry.
That's fine. To be expected.
I can see why people like to drive. I like the smaller SUVs. They're okay. I mean, we got one, our little Jeep It's a Jeep Patriot. You know, it's kind of a fake Jeep. It's a little front driver. Well, it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. It mostly drives the front wheels. Okay, here you go. More Raining Slant 6.
Thank you for all your suggestions. Different feature altogether from an anti-drain back ability. The standpipe tube itself is a good idea that will keep the oil in the filled oil filter, which mounts upside down. Yeah. I agree. The standpipe is a good thing to keep, but the additional restriction should be removed. Okay. Yeah. Good plan.
What was I going to say about mine?
I'm sorry.
Oh, carbureted. My Slant, it's carbureted, so I crank it like crank. Little oil pressure. Okay. Then I give it a couple of shots of gas and fire it up. So it has oil pressure by the time I start it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think
I had one of those wide tire truck keep a rock that cracked my windshield. Yeah. Well, I see those things coming, and they got tires hanging over the yellow line. Double yellow line, the tires are hanging over the double yellow line. All the time I see that. Man, I creep off to the right, hit those things on the road, which I don't really want to do, but I don't want to be close to one of those tires. I don't want one of those tires to hit me going the other way. Dr. Go, hitting the hay. Good night, all, and thanks for continuing education. I'm not sure what we educated you.
Thanks for being here, Dr. Go. You never know what we'll say.
You never know what we'll say.
Hopefully some of it's good.
So you're assembling your head.
I'm finally putting this darn thing together.
I thought you were going to paint it first.
Shoot.
Now you got to tape it all off.
Nah, I can paint it with valves in it.
You can always bolt it on the engine, put the valve cover on it, just set the valve cover on it and paint it, and then it'll look like it's all part of the engine anyway. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Painting the whole engine with a head on it. I mean,
yeah, right. I can just get more detailed with it.
Yeah, but there's no reason to do that, though. Oh, here we go. Kim.
Yeah.
I need your help. 1231. There's a new person here that I can't read their name. What
do you want us to call you? Because that name is difficult. What do you guys think? Okay, go ahead.
What do you guys think of Panther bodies? I got a Grand Marquis 2000 broken blender, of course, and my rear driver's window won't go up, but goes down. One of the cabin fuses is blown. Man, I like Panther bodies. If I could have like another car, I'd want a Marauder. You know what a Marauder is? Man, I like those things. But it's a big car, and I really don't want something that big as my daily driver. Okay, Kim, let's see. Broken blender. Oh, the blend air, like the thing that blends the air. I don't know what he means, or she. And my rear driver's window won't go up, but goes down. Yeah, I've had that problem with power windows. One of the cabin fuses is blown. If you replace the fuse, does it blow again? Later, doctor. Yeah, thanks, doctor. Good doctor. Yeah. Night, Rich. Okay, everybody saying good night. It's just a phonetic thing on the word potato. Oh.
Oh. Okay, so we can call it potato.
Potato. I gotta try to remember that.
Potato.
Drives like a boat. Marauders are sweet. Yeah, I'd love to have a Marauder. In fact, I was looking at one. See, you're new in here. I got in this horrible crash, and my I'm getting, you know how it is. The checks in the mail kind of thing. The guy that crashed into me, his insurance is paying for my car, and so I've been looking for another car, and I've looked at a couple of Marauders, but they're just so big, you know, and I'm really looking for something lighter, probably a Fox body car, and but man, don't think I haven't thought about it. In fact, there was one I was seriously looking at, and it's probably a good thing I didn't have money that day because I would have bought it. But it disappeared quickly. It was sold. So, oh, it's the blend air door for the AC and heat. So it's stuck halfway. I got to tear the whole trim up. I hate doing that kind of stuff. You know, some of those, is it vacuum? Like I don't know on those cars. The vacuum, like on the van, Kim has a van, I have a van, both of them have the same problem, is the vacuum line goes in a place on the engine where it's really hard to replace. And there's a way on the vans to reroute that vacuum line. I rerouted mine and it works. Kim got her van, somebody else had already took something off the dash and crammed a rag in it. So she moves the rag from one side to the other side of the manual, move the blend air door. But I wonder if that's what the problem is. Raining Slant 6, most other engines mount the filter with the opening up. I wish that were true. My can part down. Look at Studebaker engines. They're the other way. The can is up and the opening's down. Most the can part down, so you wouldn't need a standpipe. Or small block Fords where they go. Small block Fords, yeah, they go in like this. Chevrolets go in the small blocks. They go right side up, what I would call right side up with the opening up. The small block Fords that I had all go in on like a 45-degree angle. My Mazda went in correctly, so you could fill it.
I guess it's a Slant 6 thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I've always been frustrated with oil filters that go the wrong direction. And okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'll tell you when to stop.
Not there yet. Okay, I got to get a little better shot at it here.
Looking good. A little more. Keep going. Let it do it. Good. Thank you. Oh, okay. I just stick them in and then you can take a break.
Yeah, put it together now.
One keeper. Up. Two valve keepers. Up. Okay, go. Good. Up. Good deal. What's this one?
Yeah, Marauders, man. You know what a Marauder is?
Well,
Kim? You know what the Crown Vics, all police cars? Yeah. The Mercury version is the Grand Marquis, and then they made a really nice one called a Marauder that was just such a nice car. And I have looked at them.
I just put the number 1 into the number 6. I don't want to do that.
Oh, we got to come back apart again?
Back apart.
Back apart. Wrong valve, wrong hole.
I'm like, why do I have these valves that are already in?
Tell me when.
Go ahead.
Oops.
Okay, stop. Boy, this engine's a trooper, though. Stuck it all the way in the wrong hole. It didn't even make a peep. It was just...
Jeez. I can't.
I mean, usually they're...
Don't say stuff like that.
Okay, go back.
Usually. Hold it. Coming out.
Okay. Okay, back. Most other engines mount the filter with the opening up, the can part down, so you wouldn't need a standpipe for those applications.
Yeah, see, that's what I was making
Oh boy,
comments
it
on
got
that.
really quiet.
Yeah, it got really quiet.
Mom had a Taurus with the SHO engine. That's
Man,
cool.
which one? The V6 or the V8? I had a friend that, oh God, she's single mom, three little girls, little girls, and my former wife and I used to babysit the kids, and she was like an old time friend of my former wife. So she had a '69 Dodge Dart with a slant, and I kind of helped her maintain it, and she didn't have a lot of money, and she was going to school and working. So then she got her engineering degree, got a really good job, and she went out. She one of the cars. She got two new cars. She got a 260Z or a 280Z, and then within about a year, she had a Taurus show. But then she gave me the '69 Dart. She just gave it to me for all the help we'd given her and everything. So yeah, it's every time I think of that Taurus show, I think about that car she got. Uh, Okay, let's see. The right-hand drive Slant 6s had an elaborate version of the aluminum 5-bolt pump. It had that drain back system from 62 to 76. South African cars after 69 had 225 slants in 1, 2, and 4 barrel. 4 barrel? 4 barrel? In South Africa, you had a 4 barrel with in a slant?
Oh, I didn't know they ever made factory.
Shows were nice. Yamaha engine. Yep, Yamaha engine. Oh, V6 Yamaha. Yeah, there was a V6 and a V8. They had all these tubes on top. Man, it was a beautiful engine, besides good running engine. Man. Oh, you put it in a... I see. You didn't get the right valve for this hole. You put the valve in the right hole. I'm going to have to scoot that direction. Tell me when. God, this socket doesn't go on there very nicely.
No, it doesn't.
Why is that? It's been going on. Why doesn't it go on now? Okay, there. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Stop. Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Oh, that hurt my neck. Ooh, that hurt my neck. Oh, that hurt.
You need to move a little closer next.
Well, there was a cord on the floor, and I didn't want to run over it. Let's see, Raining Slant 6. Even though you may want to pitch the anti-drain back disc and small compression spring that goes with, pitch it. Small compression spring that goes with it, because you don't plan on reusing it. You should save those pieces as well as the stamp. Oh, we don't throw anything away. We don't throw anything away unless it's completely ruined. My Mazda got totaled. It was hard to let that thing go because there was good parts on it. But the way the insurance company worked, keeping it became just impossible. Buddy Carfano says, went to buy wagon, came home with show. I was shocked she liked the color. That's why she bought it dark green. Yeah, it's funny. People buy something because they like the color and it's a really cool car. That's pretty funny. Ooh, that sounded good.
Right?
You can tell when a valve sounds good.
Yeah, these are good. They're seated well. They're going to work. The car is gonna pop. It's gonna go pop, 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 pop. Bam. Gonna like it, and that's a promise. There's a lot going on here. I gotta make sure I get everything together. Each one, there's these washers. I gotta make sure they're all in the right direction. I gotta have the spring. I gotta have the keepers. And I gotta have a valve seal. Goes on there.
Yeah, don't forget the seals. Seals.
Smoke, and I'll be pissed because we'll take it back apart.
Okay, Jay Kylie, I only throw away things I'll need later. Man, that's the thing.
How it works.
You know, I get so much clutter, and finally it's like throw something away, and as soon as I throw it away, it's like the next day.
That's
it's like,
how you
oh
become a
man,
pack rat. You
oh
get unlucky
man,
like that a couple times, and before you know it, you are a hoarder. It's always how it starts.
You ready?
I'm gonna need that. Go ahead. Looking good. Keep going. Do more. Do more. Do more. Good.
Fucking socket's slipping off. Okay.
I could make it better, but we'll be done before I get finished.
No, that's
with that.
okay. No, that's fine.
Okay, roll them back out. Looking good. 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 Thank you.
Watching Kim assemble a head.
Assemble ahead. Put the valves in. Number 3. Wipe the lapping compound off.
Yeah, don't leave the lapping compound.
No, I don't think that's probably.
I went to an engine school. It was this aircraft engine school, and this guy that's rebuilt all these engines, and we had to go through it. It was military kind of thing. I wasn't military, but I was a contractor. But we all had to go through this school, and the guy's in there, and he's talking about lapping valves, and to run leaded fuel. You know, if you're running 100 low lead, you get all this lead all over everything. And he got an engine in, and we took it all apart. Students all took it apart. Those of us that had to get our certification, and we lapped the valves because it could just clean all the lead and crap off of them, and lapped them, put it back together, and the compression was perfect. No more, cylinder leak down. But he says, he looks at me, he goes, so what if you're out in the, deployed, like in Iraq or something, and he goes, and you don't have any lapping compound, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know, I'd probably get some toothpaste. And he goes, get some toothpaste. And he goes, put a little sand in it. I'm like, sand? And he goes, yeah, like real fine sand. And he goes, that'll work. I'm thinking, yeah, it probably would. You get by with nothing. Rating Slant 6. And the oil filter mounting adapter base with its 1-inch hex flange and its O-ring to show anybody who is interested in the rebuilding or modifying a Slant 6 can see what we're talking about. Yeah, then you have a display item. What do you call it?
I don't like how it feels. The guide's a little bit tight.
The guide's tight?
I'm gonna make sure it's clean. It feels gritty.
Okay, I'll just stop. I'll just wait. Yeah, clean everything. Yeah, what do you call those things? Like a with students, I always had samples of stuff around to show. I worked on aircraft, R&D, a lot of flight testing and all that. But when you get an airplane that's something they're going to start deploying, we'd also do all the first instruction to the first technicians and the first pilots and all the crew, and those people would usually end up being the instructors. But I always had what you call it, like displays, things that pieces and parts and stuff to show everybody how things work. I didn't ever want to be an instructor, but after I became an instructor out there, I kind of enjoyed it mostly. But but R&D was more fun.
Less crunchy.
What's that? Kim, what did you say?
I said it's less crunchy now.
Less crunchy. That's good.
Yeah. We don't want crunchy. Crunchy is not a good way to find your...
Yeah, when I got sent to be an instructor, I was not a happy camper, but after I did it for a while, it was okay. It led to better things. You know, if you're an instructor on something, you get really good at it.
Yep.
I mean,
you have to know really well to teach.
Even when I knew what I was doing, when I have to explain it over and over again, people ask questions, I really got sharper being an instructor. So
somebody asks why, and then you better know what you're talking about. Somebody asks why. They look foolish. Can't answer the questions.
The chat got quiet.
Well,
but that's because we're assembling ahead here. And so I know there's people coming in because I'm watching the current viewer number going up.
Oh, okay.
So...
Hi guys, we're building a Slant 6-cylinder head right now.
So we're Kim is putting valves in, I'm running the...
It's a two-man job with the tools that we have. Luckily, we have a man, and we have a Kim.
And a Kim. Kim and Buff. Okay, so... Tell me when. I don't quite have this on here yet.
That's okay.
It's not being nice. Okay, tell me when.
Go ahead. Okay. Hold on a second.
Something didn't sound right.
It's okay now. Go ahead.
Coming off. Just a second. This socket's giving me fits.
That is good. That's the ugliest hex I've ever contracted.
Well, you know what? It worked.
Yeah, but I should have done a better job with it. Now it's giving you grief every time we use it. Because I didn't take my time. I was making a lot of noise with the grinder and you were getting upset with me. So.
Yeah, because I was trying to pay attention to the chat and you were making a lot of racket.
Okay, back it up. Keep going. Okay. Go ahead and show the chat the tool. They can see why it's garbage, but it does the job.
We're turning this, and Kim kind of made a hex out of this. Sorta. It does work, but it slips off, and it's kind of...
Pain in the butt.
Did it in a hurry on a grinder.
Oh, you know what happened?
What happened?
I left that lapping compound on these, and the little rust starts to form. It started to get rusty. I didn't know it would do that.
Oh, geez, why?
It's water-based. It's okay. It's not the amount. Oh, it's not enough that I can't just wipe it off even. Just if I'd have left them, if we did not come back for a week.
You can't do that.
Be all rusty.
Earlier, someone commented in tonight's live about Australian and South African right-hand drive Slant 6s had a different oil pump casting with no integral or integral, either one, oil filter mounting pad and two national pipe thread NTP. Oh, national pipe threads. That would have been Dean Stevenson, and he's
from that.
He's in New Zealand, but man, he really knows his stuff about the Probably worldwide vehicles. But of
He
course,
knows a bunch of stuff.
he's really aware of everything that's down under. Rich says, if you have a forged steel C-clamp, you can weld on it. Well, yeah, I suppose we could put a socket on there permanently.
That's
then
not forged steel. That's cast.
It's some kind of, who knows what it is.
Yeah, it won't
It's a
hold
cheap
well.
clamp.
It'll just keep breaking. It's good enough though. I mean, that's the thing is we could just put the bar through it and turn it. This makes it quick and.
Yeah, she was using
Awkward.
had a thing through there, turn it by hand, but with the drill, I mean, it goes really quick. Easy.
Doesn't have to be two people, but two people makes light work of it because we can go pretty quick. And I'm taking my time because I don't want to have to do this twice. I'm making sure I get all the little steps. And I don't do this often. This is the first, we do one motor a year, something like that.
You know what I always say? Why do it right when you can do it twice?
Shush! We're not taking this motor back out right away. Hopefully we'll get all this the first go. I don't want to have to redo this motor anytime this year or next year. This is going to run good. It's just going to be now. Hey, when I did my van, I've been driving my van now since that No Name Nationals that I built it for the first No Name Nationals, and we have not had the motor or transmission back apart since. The only thing we've done is add coolant and oil.
Oh, we added coolant, all right.
It has been reliable. Well, I know, but I'm saying it has been a really reliable vehicle, and so it is possible for me to build something good. Not everything I build is a complete.
Say when.
Go ahead. When?
Oh, it's coming out.
Keep going. Looking good. A little more. A little more. Okay.
Having trigger control issues.
That's okay. One. And yeah. But that Subaru was a complete bust. I had that Subaru motor out twice and it still don't run. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, this is good. Go ahead. Looking good? Yep. Good. Thank you. So, yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Dirt road landing. We'll use conventional oil or synthetic oil in that engine.
I don't think I need to run synthetic. I think the clearances are wrong for synthetic, right? 10W30. It should run good on 10W30. There's no reason I need to run anything more expensive or fancy.
Rich says, we had a spring compressor that likes like a killer, used to have clave seals without taking the head off. Oh, yeah, okay. Ringing Slant 6, threaded holes. Threaded holes where they used, two oil lines that crossed over from oil pump on the right side of the engine to a remote oil filter mounted on the opposite side of the engine compartment. One line wrapped. What is this? Some kind of virus threat protection? I don't know. Some kind of a pop-up.
You don't need to worry about viruses.
Rich says looks. That looks like a killer. We had a spring compressor that looks like a killer. Used to do clave seals without taking the heads off. Clave, I think he means valve seals without taking the head off.
Cool.
Let's see here.
I've heard of stuff like there's a bunch
Polar,
of different
yeah,
tools.
okay, yeah, that's spell check. Yeah, spell check issues, man.
There's a bunch of cool tools that will do this kind of work and make it easier, but this is what we have, and it's moving along.
It's getting the job done.
Yeah.
And
we got nothing but No, we do want to get it done, but it's going well.
What is that, Goop?
Assembly.
Oh, assembly lube. Okay, that makes sense.
Putting some on the valve stems so that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't
I
bind any
understand.
more than necessary. Boop. Feels good. Okay, I'm not quite ready, but I'm getting there.
Okay.
Whoop. And grease. Got valves. Keepers. Got
Oh, pump up the cylinders with compressed air. Yep. That's
yeah.
We used to do that.
That would.
I learned that in high school, back in 1971 or something. Ready?
Yes. Looking good. And a little more. Good. Should work. One. Fumbling. The second one. Okay, bring me back. Good. All right, we got all of the intake valves installed. Woo!
Exhaust.
Everyone who types a random number in chat in the next, I don't know, minute gets 2 points for being here once we got all the intake valves in. For sticking around while
What do you mean
that.
a random number?
Just type a number to show that you're in chat, and I will award you. How many points did I say?
I
Did I
don't
say
know.
2 or did I say 3?
I don't know how many points. I don't know why you're giving
2
points
points.
away.
Because I'm happy. We got the valves in.
Happy
Look at that.
points. Happy points.
Points. We deserve points. We worked
Yeah, what
hard.
is that? What is that big goob right there?
This here?
No, it's on the surface. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to re-clean the surface.
Okay.
There's little glabs of assembly lube.
Big goobs. Tap the top of the valves to make sure
the retainers are set. Yes. They should all
But he says
pop
sold
really
project. Sold project yesterday, 67 C10. Too much rust. Oh, too much, probably too much rust to deal with.
Buddy, you get 3 points. Tim, you get 3 points. Rich, you get 3 points. All right, I'm going to tap them with a hammer. You'll hear. If something's wrong, it'll make a really different noise than all the others.
That's a brass hammer, right?
Brass?
It is. Okay.
They all sound really good.
Tim says you're going to wake up my dog. No, the dog, don't wake up the dog, because then the dog will want a bedtime, you remember?
I mean, sometimes, at some point, you got to go to bed. I don't know what to say.
Sold a 67 C10. You know, a 67 was a one-year truck, because it had that little window in the back. And I really like 67s. Too bad it had rust. I remember when those came out, I just thought that was... I was 12 years old when those came out, and I went right out and bought a model, like an AMT model of the 67 Chevy pickup. Rich says that's a good double check.
I agree. I like to hear that satisfying. If it does something different, then you know you did something wrong. You better check yourself. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. I got it.
I'm giving you a paper towel. You already got one.
I'm gonna go put the last coat of paint on the manifold, and then I'll be back.
It's gonna go paint, and then I'll have my toaster by Christmas. Yeah, it's pretty funny, actually. Like Kim's gonna give away toasters. What was the other thing somebody wanted? Some big prize. Don't remember what it was. Somebody's gonna want to save up their points, like for an engine dyno or something. buy a nice car and have just Mopar Joe upgrade it. I'm actually looking forward to getting a Fox body again. It's been a long time since I had one. Last Fox body I had was probably a station wagon and probably a Fairmont wagon. And it was in, trying to think of, I was in Ohio, so it was probably 1998, maybe 1999, somewhere in there. Rich says, I'm done with new cars. Made my last car payment last. Oh, doesn't that feel good? That's happened at Mazda. I had 6 years of payments, and I paid it off in about 4. Man, that last year, I just started making payments. Just pay. And I paid it off like in 4 years and 10 months, 9 months, something like that. So I paid it off over a year early, and it really felt good. And now things totaled. Not getting enough money for it. I feel, I maintained it. Nothing less than the best, 100% synthetic oil, AMSOIL Signature Series. Did oil samples on it about every 3,000 or 4,000 miles. It really paid attention to everything on that car. Then it gets totaled. Well, you don't go out and buy a used car that's been maintained like that. You go out and buy a used car, same year and model, and I can't find any of the mileage low enough. And then you find one that's got like 160,000 miles, and God, it could have the original oil in it, So, no, I'm not buying something like that. That's why I want to get an older Fox body and one that's pretty clean. I'll find one that's clean, but it'll be simple, simple car. And then I can do what I need to do to it. It was 2.9%. I went the whole 4 years, cheap money.
Did anybody else get points by throwing numbers up?
No, nobody else got points.
Oh man, they're missing their chance.
Although Rich said he made his last car payment last week. What kind of car was that? Was it GT350? GT350R. I assume that's the car that he made the payments on, but I'm not sure. I can't believe I bought a new Mazda. Had I ever had Japanese cars before? Oh, I had old Mazda rotaries back in the 70s. Had a bunch of those.
Back in the 70s. Way
trying to
back.
think of other Japanese cars. I don't think I had any other Japanese cars. Yeah, he says his GT350R. Okay. So you're ready or what?
I'm gonna
almost ready.
check
Okay.
these valves. It's gonna take me a minute. Here, you could show, unbag that one. Show the chat.
Unbag.
Unbagging.
There's no opening. It's sealed.
It's sealed.
I just broke the bag open. New valve. Tim says, I'm saving my points to an SD card.
Oh, nice. That's a good idea.
That way I won't lose them again. Man. No substitute for backing stuff up. And I say that, and I'm thinking right now, what don't I have backed up? When we're done here tonight, I need to back up a bunch of stuff just to make sure that... I'd hate to lose like 3 or 4 videos.
Speaking of 3 or 4 videos, you have some editing to do.
Oh, I know. I have editing to do. I have a bunch of good video stuff I need to put together edit it into a video, and maybe I'll do that tomorrow instead of live streaming, because we're not going to live stream tomorrow.
No, it's a good idea to take Monday off.
And then Tuesday we'll be doing the in-studio live stream instead of in-shop live stream. Rich says I would have bought it outright if they gave me a total out the door price. Yeah, they want you to finance, of course. Yeah, how much you pay cash? And they're like, and a friend of mine bought a Honda, and he took a paper bag full of money to the dealer, and he sold an airplane, and the guy gave him cash. So he went into the Honda dealer, and he picked out the car he wanted, and the salesman, he goes up there and he opens up this paper bag and dumps all this cash out. And the salesman goes, wait a minute. And he goes and gets his boss. He goes, are we allowed to take this? The boss goes, of course you can take that. Kim, what are you handing me this for? What is this?
Valves. Open them up.
Oh, it's more valves?
Yeah.
Well, they're sealed.
Well, that's how they are when they're new. Put some new valves in.
It's a box. It's in a bag in a box. Probably came in a bigger box.
Yeah, make sure they look clean and ready to install. They're new old stock.
Yeah, look at this. Old box, new old stock. New valves from back in the day. Oh, there's more than one in here. Was there 2 per box?
2 per box, yeah.
2 per box. Where did you ever find these?
eBay.
You bought these on eBay. New old stock valves.
Slant 6 valves. I guess Fords have same size valves or something like that.
Really?
For some reason, they must have sourced them from a stock size supplier at the time when they designed the vehicle, I guess.
There's an airplane I used to work on, had a nose gear that had a springy like thing on the front.
Uh-huh.
And it used a Slant 6 valve spring.
That's unusual.
So an airplane, it was basically an ultralight. It was a CGS Hawk.
I don't like how this stem has some dried storage lube on it.
Oh,
Like it.
Storage lube. What do they call that? Storage lube. There's a name for that.
A bit of brake cleaning. Cleans it right up. Bet that feels better now. That's right off.
And put some lube on it. Yeah, they make money on that financing.
Yep. They get paid different if they finance.
You feel good?
Oh, it feels amazing.
It's amazing.
So good.
Tim, I've got my original pics and videos where the Movie Maker software is stored was part of the disk that got corrupted somehow. Boo.
Project files are
So
going.
I'll start making my videos from scratch again.
You can
Man,
do it.
That sucks, but yeah,
Don't give up.
I hate doing stuff like that twice. They never end up the same, but sometimes they end up better.
Yeah, sometimes they end
I
up
wonder
better.
if TRW still make the valves for all the manufacturers. Everyone I ever did, replacement valves were TRW.
Oh, really? Who? Rich? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rich says that.
But I don't know. There were some other companies that I was told to check out, but these ones were in stock, and the price was right. And I knew that they would be better than the used valves, because exhaust valves take the most abuse. So,
When did you buy these?
a couple weeks ago.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you
I-
bought new
I
old
saw
stock
them,
valves.
And I saw them, and I said, well, I better buy them. I thought I bought them for, actually, no, I bought 2 sets. I bought enough for 2 heads.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah, I did. Because they were, old stock, and I was like, I'm going to get a couple of those. I got the 6 cylinders and exhaust valves, if you burn a couple valves, I don't know. I probably should have only bought enough for one cylinder head, but
Oh, Dean,
maybe.
on Facebook, I wasn't paying attention. Dean says, on Facebook,
Will you
there
open
is
that?
a road test on South African Chrysler SE. What?
Can you open that and give me the one that you have
Okay.
open?
You're interrupting. You're
Sorry,
interrupting
go
Dean.
ahead.
You're
Go back.
interrupting Dean.
I'm sorry to
Okay.
interrupt you.
There's a road test on South African Chrysler SE similar to our Australian 1977 Regal SE CL. Man, you lost me there. You have all these SE, SD, all these letters in down under that I get lost with. Regal CL, but with the 4-barrel 225 slant made by Sigma Motor Corporation. I had no idea there was a factory car with a 4-barrel 225. What carburetor is on it? Oh, man. Is it a small 4-barrel? Like 450 CFM or something?
Gotta be. Wonderful. Feels great. That's gonna be a winner.
All these new valves.
It's gonna be a winner.
New valves. Are you wiping them all this goo off all of them? Because I think they all have this.
I am. I'm noticing it.
Okay.
They didn't all have it, but I'm noticing it on some of them here.
Yeah, this one has a little sticky feel to it.
Yep.
It's real obvious there's some kind of a
It's-
coating on there
Yeah,
that's
it's a
to keep it
packaging
nice.
coating, but it's like yellow and it's kind of got bubbles.
Dean has the Falcon GTEB 351 Cleveland. Dean, you have one of those? GTEB. Okay, I got to get my phone and look that up.
Cosmoline? Is that the packaging stuff, or is that?
Well, but I don't think it's Cosmoline, but yeah, Cosmoline is a packaging stuff. It could be. Falcon GTEB. GTEB 351. Man, I can't see up close with my glasses on. Is it one of these? Is that the car you have? That's the coating stuff comes off a little gasoline. She's using yeah, Cosmic. She's using the something else. What the heck are you using? Brake clean. Wiping them off with brake
Yeah,
clean.
it's working really well.
SI or SL and Ferrari are the same domiciles now. TRW, more a white box military supplier. 50, no, a 70s car. Okay, I'm gonna have to relook that up here in a minute. I'm getting Kim valves. So what year is it, Dean? Then I can look it up and make sense out of it.
Thank you.
That's the last one, isn't it? Yeah, that goo, that Cosmoline or whatever it is in there. Every one of these bags has it in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck in the bag. Yeah, it's like a yellowy, orangey looking stuff. It's orangey, yellowy looking stuff. Oh, I don't have one. They only made 2. Oh, okay. See, they're just messing with me. So, Dean, what do you drive? American car. Wonder what Dean has. Okay, I don't know which one you're doing first. Well, I know there's a Falcon down under that they went on making Falcons down there. Put the name on a really nice car that we never got up here. This sure do look nice. 72 Ford Falcon GT. Dean Stevenson, 1992 for the EB Falcon, 1997 for the EL Falcon. Sonic Beast, I drive a 2004 Scion, runs forever. Never even do an oil change on it, 300,000 miles. Never even do an oil change. Come on, man.
Why would you do that to your car? What are you thinking?
Thought the early one was an EP. Okay, I don't know who to believe on what here. Just
What are they doing?
I'll tell them what Dean drives, but they're messing with me.
Oh.
So I don't know which one is.
Well,
I don't know what he really drives.
He'll tell us if he wants to.
One day Dean will do a live and feature all his cars.
Yeah, that sounds like a great.
I'll go in there and watch. You know what? Dean, take pictures of your cars. I know you've taken pictures of all the old cars, the Velux or Velux, whatever it is, and show pictures. I don't have a car in my name since 2019. My last car was a Nissan. Yeah, I don't know what that is. RS4 4-wheel drive station wagon. Brawler 1997. My car has a bad neutral safety switch. Is it easy to fix? I thought you had a manual transmission, but maybe not. I don't know where the neutral safety switch is on that car. Kim? I'm not talking about what Dean drives. It was an Australian Ford Falcon in 1972. Okay.
Easy. Yes, it is relatively easy. You should be able to get it. It'll be on the driver's side of the transmission. It's
down underneath. It's not on the shifter. Well, I thought you had a manual transmission.
Doesn't matter. They have them on manuals too.
Oh, it's the
Mad
Mad
Max.
Max.
That's a backup switch.
Mad Max car Falcon. Okay, I know what that is.
Let me see. I see a transmission right there. I might be able to just pick up the body.
Oh, Jesus. You can't get through here.
I can get
There's all kinds of crap in the way. You've only just begun to reach all the crap you got to get out of the way.
Yeah, I'm just getting...
You're messing with my heater. And...
Sorry for messing with your heater. Is this one...
they were quick.
Is this one empty?
Brawler says, yeah, by driver's side.
Yeah. It's on the driver's side.
He seems to already know that.
It's about like a 3/4 deep well socket would take it out.
She says a 3/4 inch deep well socket would take it out.
Yeah. I've got a transmission here, but it's kind of, I guess it's not that heavy.
Oh, you're not going to bring that transmission out here, are you? Oh, Cam. What are you doing?
It's empty. It doesn't have any of the assembly.
It's empty. It's an empty transmission.
Okay.
I have under my wife's name 180 horsepower 96 Toyota RAV4 5-door Suzuki Grand Vitara 5-door. Man, I had a Suzuki Grand Vitara for a while. I forgot about that.
Okay, I'm going to move the camera.
Under my wife's name and a Toyota Isis. I don't know what that is. 5-door under my daughter's name. Okay, Kim's going to move the camera around.
Brawler. I'm going to show you where it is here. Okay?
I'm going to try
an
to...
automatic transmission. It's about the same place on the manual transmission. Okay.
But they don't have them on manual transmissions.
Oh, that's right. They just have a reverse light switch. Okay. So. This right here. 3 wires. That's the one. Take the plug off, thread it out, thread the new one in. You're done. Okay. So, this would be...
He says, okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. He understands. Great.
Now we got to put the camera back and
Sorry.
make cameras all crooked. Oh, God. Crash. You crashed the transmission before you even put it in a car.
That thing's heavy. I'm not messing with that.
No, you're not going to put it back.
Yep. I'm going to put it back. Done.
Okay, this is
With all that. I'm gonna change to woman.
Dean, car thief. Okay, so
I'm exhausted.
you're exhausted. You just put in exhaust valves and you're exhausted.
I am exhausted.
So what are you going to do? You're going to put all the springs and keepers, or are you going to hang it up for tonight?
I'm okay to hang it up. If you feel like
Are you good with leaving it all
Yeah, it's
undone
not
there? Okay. We've been on here 3.5 hours.
I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm kind of cold.
Tired, hungry, cold. Sounds like a good reason
I
to
made really good progress on the painting and on the
B&R Racing. Man, you got here just as we're going to leave. TRW don't make pistons and valves no more. TRY. Oh, TRW has been gone for a long time, I believe since 2001. Yeah, well, we get them because, you know,
new
old stock. But I don't know, I guess that'll only last so long.
Hold on, I'll show them the intake. That's candy stuff. They'll like it.
Yeah, I don't know who makes this stuff now. Kim just left. I don't know where she's going. Yeah, Buff needs his beauty nap. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go home and I'm going to put up a short. Also, I don't monetize these while we're on, but as soon as we shut down, I monetize them. So people that go back in are going to see a commercial or two. And so I'll do that. But I don't want to have commercials popping up while we're talking and interrupting us. That's really crass. Oh, look what Kim got. Oh, look. Oh, look. An orange spider.
Check it out.
And there's some other video I wanted to watch. I'm trying to remember what it was. There's something sitting there in the queue.
Intake manifold in orange.
SI and Ferrari makes valves for Ford. White box supplies. So you're not kidding. Ferrari makes the valves. Can you do a video on safety wiring fasteners? You know, I could do that at some point, I suppose. I'll consider that. Rich says that looks great.
Thank you.
So, have a Hemi orange intake. I didn't get this camera quite in the right place. Maybe that's better. Okay, Kim.
Yeah.
Check. Spell check. Check. That kind of check. Wrong kind of check. Okay, so we've had it, huh? All right.
Thanks everyone for being here for so long.
Oh, I didn't mean to put that in front of Kim's face.
Have a great night. We'll be back on Tuesday night for our 7 p.m. Central stream, and we look forward to seeing you then. You guys have been great. I hope that we answered all your questions, and I apologize if we missed anything, and thank you to our moderators, even though they just stopped in for a moment, and we'll talk to you all soon, real soon.
Take care. Good night. I pushed it. Nothing happened.
Where's your cursor? You gotta hit the yes. No. In the middle of the screen.
Oh, I see. Another button.